step into the dawn, ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Good morning, you beautiful souls. Would you look at that? Breathe that in. Yes, blessed with another dose of life, and that means we get to make magic with this morning. And this morning we are doing exactly that, and we are about celebrating the talent that comes from South Africa. And first up, listen to this. We're chatting with comedian Riyad Musa in the building as he embarks on his national comedy tour. I cannot wait for it. We're also going to find out more about how his culture influences his comedy, as well as how well he cooks traditional food in the kitchen. Of course, it being Heritage Month, and we are here to celebrate it all. It doesn't stop there, though. The magic does continue. We are honored to be graced with the presence of a national icon, the one, the only, Yvonne Chaka Chaka in the building as well. Oh, cannot wait for this. And we are preparing to celebrate Heritage Month. Yvonne, along with Woolies, have launched a homeware range inspired by African wear, and we cannot wait to see it. Mzansi, I just want to thank you again for joining us this morning as you dosed with all this magic, and two individuals that are standing by to greet you and that cannot wait to serve you this morning. Let's say good morning to them too.
Oh, morning, Ryle.
When you say that, it sounds like I'm about to serve you some yogurt this morning. I'm not. It's for me. I'm sorry. I just need a little snack just to get me going in the morning.
Where's mine?
Go. Got to watch what you're eating. You're a marathon athlete now, okay? You're a top-tier athlete. You got to watch what goes into the body. No, this is perfect for you, actually.
It is.
I'll pass it on down the line.
Thank you.
Maybe this is your vibe. Maybe this is what it's about for you. Heritage Month, we are loving exploring culture through food, and we're going to be doing a lot of that today. Obviously, Riyad Musa is going to be helping us out. But we thought an opportunity to put it to you guys, because whenever I go to a new place, the first thing I do to find out about a culture is I eat street food, or I eat something from that place, and then generally have it explained by someone who's emotionally invested. So that's what we want from you this morning, just a little fill in the blank.
There we go. And the question is, your Heritage Day menu is not complete without blank. Let us know what you would put in there. I mean, for me, Heritage Day, Bride Day, you know, there's been an amalgamation of that. So for me, Heritage Day would not be the same without some potato salad and like a choppy.
Ooh, no, it's got to be a steak for me. I suppose I've simplified into the embodiment of what a great bride is for me. That's a beautiful piece of meat. What is it for you? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. 063-408-8863. That's the WhatsApp line to use. All right, it is a brand new day, so let's get you prepped. Let's set the scene with some of those news and sporting headlines, and then see what the weather has in store.
Thank you, team. And I must say, I'm absolutely loving the colors you are donning this morning. Yes, I'm here for it. But for now, it's time to kick off national and official duties. National news is up first, and President Cyril Ramaphosa says the US and SA have set up a joint task force on trade and investment to increase business between the two countries. Now, during their meeting, Ramaphosa and President Biden discussed trade, climate, and energy matters. Now, in his letter to the nation yesterday, Ramaphosa said US business leaders are keen to invest in SA, explaining that building relationships with other countries is critical to creating opportunities and making the country more competitive. Sticking to our national news headlines, the mayor of the Zululand district municipality, Thulasizwe Buthelezi, has joined calls for lorries to be banned on certain routes in the area. Now, this follows after 18 children and 2 adults died on Friday on the N2 near Pongolo in a collision between a lorry and a van. Now, at least 2 collisions involving trucks have meanwhile been reported on the R34 at Ulundi, and Buthelezi is now calling for lorries to be banned during the day on the R34 between Vryheid and Richards Bay, and on the N2 between Pongolo and Richards Bay. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news. And crude oil theft in Nigeria, which is blamed for throttling output and exports, is tantamount to treason that should be punished by the stiffest possible penalty. Now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives said yesterday. Now, oil production fell below 1 million barrels per day in August, and figures from the regulator show the following. Also, on top of this, Speaker Femi Gabajamamila said Nigeria's crude exports were at their lowest in 2 decades, blaming it on crude theft that he described as treason against our country. Now moving on and sticking to international news, Russian President Vladimir Putin will only give up his imperial ambitions that risk destroying Ukraine and Russia if he recognizes he cannot win the war. Now, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz says this yesterday and also quoted, "This is why we will not accept any peace dictated by Scholz," said in his first address to the United Nations General Assembly. The return of imperialism with Putin's war on Ukraine was not just a disaster for Europe, but for the global rules-based peace order, and this being said by the German Chancellor. Now, sticking to our international news, but bringing it back home again, and something that I think a lot of South Africans will love, a spellbinding performance by South African musician Mtandazo Gadya, who has garnered the attention of American superstar singer John Legend after, well, challenged musicians to record a verse for his latest song. Now, Legend posted a video of himself on TikTok singing a verse from his hit song and cueing others to join in. Now, Gadya, a well-known Amapiano artist and Summer's nominee, added and quoted an African touch, as he called it, to the Legend's hit Nervous, and at the same time showcased his home language. Now, the singer, who recently dropped his EP titled Journey to Infinity, has been a trending topic on social media for his rendition of Legend's Nervous, and Gadya, according to the many fans, created the magic that Legend was looking for. Now, in a quote, he says, "Thank you all for making sure John Legend sees my duet. Great news in that he has loved it." And obviously this was the reply. Gadya tweeted his verse, sang in his native Zulu, quickly became the fans' favorite, attracting more than 1 million views. Oh, I love it. Now, others urged Legend to end the challenge because there was... I definitely think all South Africans can agree with this one, and yes, we are standing by you and always standing by all the incredible talent that we have in this country. And speaking of talent, let's take a look at all the talent when it comes to sport, and here's the G-Man with the latest.
Well, we got the talent, who we're going to pick. That ultimately up to Springbok coach Jacques Nienaber. And of course, he's made 2 changes to his starting team for Saturday's final and vitally important rugby championship test up against Argentina down in Durbs. So Frans Steyn will be starting at fly half, and that's in place of the injured Damian Willemse, while Peter Steph du Toit makes a very welcome return to the starting lineup at flanker. That's in place of Franco Mostert, who no doubt will return to the bomb squad. Bongi Mbonambi also makes a return from a knee injury to take a place on the bench alongside Kurtley Arendse, who has completed his suspension following a dangerous tackle last month, and he'll certainly come back as utility cover across the back line. Then on to potentially some great news on the footballing front. South Africa will be bidding to stage the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, hoping to bring the event to the continent for the very first time. South Africa was the first and so far the only country on the continent to host the Men's World Cup back in 2010, and very successfully so. Almost 2 years ago, Netherlands, Belgium and Germany launched their joint bid for the 2027 competition. And that'll be among the South African proposal's principal rivals at this stage. The United States has also indicated a desire to bid for either the 27 or the 2031 World Cup, so we'll certainly watch that space. Then on to cricket. Cameron Green smashed 61 and Matthew Wade provided the late assault to secure Australia's 4-wicket victory in their first T20 against India. The clash between world champions Australia and the current #1 ranked team India produced some high-scoring contests, as we would expect. The tourists clinching with 4 balls to spare to go 1-0 up now in the 3-match series. Then elsewhere, Alex Hales hit 53 and debutant Luke Wood took 3 wickets for just 24 runs as England claimed a 6-wicket T20 win over Pakistan. That was in their first game in the country for 17 years, so momentous. And then chasing 159 to win, Hales hit 7 fours in his first England appearance since 2019. What a way to mark his return. He was dropped from that World Cup squad for off-field issues, so great to see him back in the right zone. And then on to Formula One. A record 24 race calendar has now been confirmed by Formula One's governing body for the 2023 season. We're going to squeeze every drop of racing that we can. The new race in Las Vegas and the return of Qatar and China makes next year the longest ever ever season despite the loss of the French Grand Prix. So the season begins in Bahrain on the 5th of March, then ends in Abu Dhabi, no doubt, with a spectacular finale on the 26th of November. Monaco and Belgium have also retained their places after securing new contracts. Monaco's up until 2025 and then Belgium's just for another year at this stage. And despite the expansion, though, there is no place for a race in South Africa in 2023, although Formula One is still working hard towards having Kyalami back on the calendar in 2024. Man, it would be amazing to see Formula One return to our shores. But that's where we leave our sport for now. Let's see what the weather has in store for you on this Wednesday morning.
Thank you, Graham. And we start off with some news around climate change. It's threatening the health and survival of urban trees, with more than half of species globally already feeling the heat. Now, a new study done by researchers of Western Sydney University in Penrith, Australia, says many trees in urban areas are already stressed because of climate change. And as it becomes warmer and drier, the number of species at potential risk will increase. They used the Global Urban Tree Inventory, a database recording more than 4,000 different trees and shrubs planted in 164 cities in 78 countries to assess the likely impact of the global warming on trees planted along streets and in parks. Now, city and street trees can improve physical and mental health, are important in social integration, and can mitigate the effects of temperature rises. Now, the scientists are now urging authorities to better protect existing trees and for drought-resistant varieties to be planted. We now turn our attention from climate change to your sunrise views here at home. And kicking us off is Sebastian Kuhn from the Northwest, who sent this dusky view of his back garden. Look at how the sun slowly starts to glow and rise on his Wednesday morning. Then Quentin Jager shared this photo with us, and it's giving us the Lion King feels from Suurbraak. Check how the sun is peeking through with radiant orange hues lighting up the sky. Then Dudley from Woodbridge Island captured this photo of the sun beaming with such still waters, bringing a beautiful reflection and view. Colleen Kinshilla sent this bold shot of the sun radiating from her front garden while starting off with a delicious cup of tea. And this photo was taken in Delft in Cape Town. And last but not least, for your 6 a.m. update, we received this one from Casey Lee in Gqeberha. Look at that bright orangey sky from outside her apartment building overlooking the park. What a glorious way to start your day. Well, please make sure you share those sunrise views with us. That number is 063 408 8863. Let's get into those temperatures for today. If you're in Polokwane, some rain and thunder can be expected. A low of 11, a high of 19. Mbombela 11, 16, Pretoria 11 with a high of 20, Joburg 10 reaching a high of 19, Mahikeng 624, Klerksdorp 624. If you're in Kimberley, a low of 6 and a high of 20 can be expected. Bloemfontein 2's your low, 20 your high. Rainy conditions for Richards Bay 13 with a high of 17. Pietermaritzburg 8 reaching a high of 14. Rainy conditions for Durban, 13's your low, 19 your high. Mthatha 7 reaching a high of 16. East London 12, 19. Cradock 5, 21. Sunny in Gqeberha, your low is 12, your high 21. George 10, 23. Cape Town 10 with a high of 21. Worcester 9, 26. Sutherland 5 with a high of 19. And sunny conditions for Uppington, your low is 9, your high 24 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now. We'll have another update shortly after 7.
Thank you so much, Zoe. And of course, the show is about to heat up because Riyad Musa is in the building. Yes, the man is here and he's got something special. It's been a while since we've seen him doing something that keeps us smiling. And on top of that, we're also going to be heading to the kitchen. He's got a special recipe that's prepared for us, of course, it being Heritage Month. So a lot to look forward to. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this. Zanzi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And let me tell you, you're about to feel good. I can't even stop smiling just by being in his aura. Now, spending the last 2 years entertaining us on our screens is Dr. Riyad Musa in the building. He's back by popular demand with his latest live national tour. I cannot wait. Now, back for the first time on stage after the pandemic started, the comedy doctor, by heading over to numerous cities, we will be heading to numerous cities, to give you your daily dose of laughter. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a big, warm Expresso welcome! 15 minutes,
Thank
boss,
you.
around
Thank
the
you.
corner.
Yeah, no.
I love the hoodie. It's really cool.
I'm trying my.
Around the
around the
corner.
corner.
I'm trying to, you know,
I love it.
You
do
have a
some
lot of-
merchandising.
I love it.
And that's
yeah.
how you have to do it. You have to now capitalize on the audience, if I can put it.
Yeah, I'm having to change everything, and I realized also a lot of grey hairs after 2 years, and I also realized coming into the. And after people don't know me, like I come there signing, oh, what's your name? What's your name?
We have new
Do you know? You don't know. I was sit there, please. Yeah,
The world has changed,
fine.
man.
It's fine. It's okay. I'm dealing with the thing.
Oh,
I'm dealing with the fact that I'm getting older, and I'm not saying I'm a has-been, because people are still buying lots of tickets to my shows, but it's older people. And I'm big on TikTok now, bro.
Oh, you
wow.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
I just posted my TikTok videos.
That's where the youth live.
And yeah, and like I've grown by hundreds of thousands of people, and I think I'm funny.
Man's
but
trending.
you shouldn't say you grew by so many people, by followers. You
By
must get-
followers.
by
Yes, followers.
By
Yes, okay, followers.
Now, are you one of those TikTokers
Eyeballs.
that dances, or do you just...
No.
okay.
That, for me, that would be an epileptic seizure, like set to music. No, definitely stand up, and I also sometimes do the lip sync stuff. I enjoy doing that with my kids, actually.
But
I
I'm
call
also-
up my children.
I'm seeing the George Clooney look, and I'm pretty sure that's also gaining a big following.
Yeah,
Riyad
there's a
Clooney
lot
in
of
the
grey
house.
hairs. There's a lot of grey hairs.
I like it.
And
I
it's
love
not,
it.
And it's not just restricted to. This is a family show, but it's like not just north of the equator,
Okay.
which is very troubling for the middle-aged people out there.
I want
You
to
know,
pick that one.
I feel you.
Yeah. But now that you're all cool and hip and on the right side of the digital divide, how does it feel being back in an audience space where you can physically hear people laugh compared to just seeing emojis fly up
Right.
or the LOLs
Right.
appearing in the comment section?
That was stressful, dude. For 2 years performing to a screen, I would sometimes like be performing for an hour to nothing. And like in the early days of the pandemic, I wasn't as technically astute. So like there were times where I'd be performing with the mute button on,
Oh, no!
doing
No!
a corporate, and I had no idea. Right? And that was quite frustrating, but I became quite good at it. And I actually tried to start a virtual comedy club during the pandemic. The advantage of that was that I could get internationals to perform on stage with me. So I had people from India, people from the UK, people from America, and then they would join in the Zoom shows, and we'd perform for people, which was difficult, but you know, I'm trying to figure out if I can actually do a hybrid offering now. So in addition to my stand-up comedy tour now, which is live, and I'm trying to go everywhere, I'm also gonna, I don't know if it's a scam, maybe a scam, you guys decide. It's what I call a virtual world tour, okay?
All
right.
But it's a world tour from my house, right? What I'm doing is I'm actually, performing at different time zones. So I'm performing to cater to different time zones for all the different people. So, for example, I have a show for the United States, which would be at East Coast of the United States. I'm doing Singapore, Malaysia, China, because that's around the same time, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Europe, and India.
Those are massive time zones.
International, yeah.
So it'd be weird. No, but
that.
it's weird. So essentially what I would do is I would say, okay, like I would do Australia at 12 o'clock, South African time, which is 8 p.m. Australian time. And then I do a live show in South Africa, and then 2 a.m. in the morning do a show for the Americans. And that's what I'm going to try. And so far, there's like 7 people have bought tickets, but that's 7 people.
And you know what? After today, more people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But,
Yeah.
man, I must say, I'm impressed. You are clearly technically savvy. Clearly, you clock in this digital game. I mean, coming from comedy on mute to where you're at now, the silver fox has found a silver lining in it all, and I think we are all here for it. Yeah, I can't wait for you to just entertain us this morning. Of course, you're not going anywhere. You've got a live tour coming up, which I know everyone can expect nothing but laughter and the good medicine, but I believe you're also going to be heading to the kitchen. You've got something special prepared for us, right?
Yeah.
Look, let us not take up any more of your time because G-Man wants a piece of you too, but brother, thank you so much for being here this morning. It's been an absolutely honor to just obviously see your growth through this pandemic and see what you're still providing for people, which I think is essential at this time, and that's laughter and smiles, so thank you for that. But man's busy. He's going to be heading to the kitchen. We'll see him in just a bit.
Yep, we're going to make you work this morning. It is Heritage Month, and we are loving and exploring our heritage through food. That's the best way to delve into a culture. And I love the fact that Hewlett's is on board. They are helping all home bakers and cooks spread a little kindness this Heritage Month with their Hewlett's sugar, of course. And our sprinkle of kindness today comes in the form of a classic South African dish, the bobotie. I think everyone needs to know how to make a stock bobotie. It's just got to be on your little card, okay? It's a mildly curried and slightly spicy minced casserole, if you will, with a beautiful egg custard topping that is traditionally served with fragrant yellow rice. Not too difficult to make, but Chef Thando is going to take us through the steps on how to create this national treasure. And Riyad Musa is going to join us, being a national treasure. Yes. Okay. And you are, hey? You've arrived at that point, eh? You're going to work today, buddy. So Thando,
I'm going to do it.
Riyad, Thando?
Yeah.
Okay. She's very spicy, eh? I know she looks all sweet and lovely, but she's...
I'm very sweet.
Oh.
Yes, I'm bad at cooking.
I'm balanced. Oh, you're bad at cooking?
Yes.
I won't have you do anything
Yes.
hectic.
No, we're going to give him the most important part of the job, okay? He's going to make the custard on the
My
top.
daughter has already said, like, how does Dad, like, make toast? What he does, he puts it in the toaster, he puts it down, and then afterwards he takes the knife and scrapes off all the blood.
Oh, no.
That's how I make toast.
We've all
Even
been there,
with
but
the
you don't
timer.
waste. You don't waste, okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to put it to you because I think we love to explore culture through food. I think it's one of the easiest ways, and I find it if I go to a place, especially another country, I find a person who's really emotionally invested and get them to take me to like a street food vendor, or I can go and have your favorite meal, your favorite drink.
Yes.
So I'm going to put it to you, buddy.
Get diarrhea in different countries.
Exactly. Test the medical system as well. You've got to do it. What is your ultimate Heritage Day dish? If I could ask you to fit in this particular blank here, your Heritage menu, your Heritage Day menu is not complete without...
Akni.
Akni.
Oh,
Like, so
quite aggressively, like it was like
Yes.
you had to
Yes.
say it. Why is it so...
Well, I think just we started this also debate on social media about, you know, from a South African Cape Muslim perspective, whether it's biryani or akni. So there was a biryani akni debate.
And did Akni win?
And like for biryani won.
Okay.
However, right,
like that,
I'm the person alongside my son, my son, who like really love akni. Right? There's just something special. And I think it's the memories, the nostalgia associated with the dish. I remember at many like weddings and family functions, they had these massive pots
It's
of
always
akni.
there.
Massive, and then they dish it with the side plate.
That's how you know
Right.
it's going to be good. We also have something similar.
And then, yeah, it's just amazing.
magical.
Yeah.
Well, today is unofficially South African Akni Day. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. We've done it. We've named it.
Love it.
No, we are actually making some bobotie, and I think every South African chef needs to know how to make some bobotie.
Yes.
Where are we in the process now? I see it's turning yellow.
It's turning yellow. So what I've got, onion, garlic, our spices, cumin, coriander, turmeric, and then I've added our mince now. We're going to fry that till it's nice and golden brown. Then once that's done, we've got some golden raisins, we've got some almonds, and then that's all going to go in as well. And then we've also got our star, our Hewlett's sugar. Going to add a great sweetness and balance.
Because bobotie is kind of a sweet, savory type vibe. You've got to get that balance right.
Yes, so sometimes you add like jam. So this is great because then we just add sugar, but then we've also got the sweetness from some raisins.
Yeah.
So that brings in the balance. And then with the custard on top, then you just finish it off. And it's pretty simple. You could make this.
I could make this.
You could make this? Do you trust
Again, that was
yourself?
quite aggressive.
Okay.
He's gonna play his part.
Okay,
Of course,
let's see.
We love the fact that Hewlett's is on board this Heritage Month. And Hewlett's Sugar, proudly South African brand. I think we've all grown up with it. And I think they've grown with kindness to make it even sweeter. They get it. We cook from the heart. The Hewlett's range includes, obviously, their core white sugar, the superstar. We've got our brown sugar. Then we've got some specialty products. We've got icing sugar, caster sugar, the various syrups, molasses, and then a whole lot of other products that deliver their standard high quality. And if you want to get this amazing recipe, simple, go over to Riyad's house. He'll make it for you. Give it in a little
No,
bit,
bro.
and then you take
Like,
it.
I'm scared. If you're going to tell me to even just try to cook, I'll probably burn this place down.
But didn't lockdown teach you how to cook, man?
No, bro.
No.
Okay, Greg, I'm going to ask you, can you
No,
give
I'm
us
not
some
saying
custard?
Riyad's here
Riyad,
to work,
please.
man. Okay, we've got...
Okay,
some
no,
custard
I'll
for
do
us,
this.
eh?
I'll do this. Okay.
Do you trust yourself?
No, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So what do I do?
Okay,
You
so you're
just
gonna...
mix the two ingredients. So you've got some two
How
eggs
much?
there.
All of it?
All of it, yes.
Can I
And milk.
first pour all the milk in?
Yes, pour all
And
the
then,
milk.
okay, pour all
With
the milk
confidence.
in.
No, you like me in the kitchen.
Okay,
I'm
there we
always like,
go.
they assume I know what I'm doing, but I like to be guided through the process. Nice,
it?
gentle whisk.
Okay.
It's
As you
beautiful.
can
So
see.
this might divide the nation once again, yeah. So we've got in our team, and I won't mention her name, one of our on-air team likes to rinse her mince. Do you rinse your mince before you cook it?
Wait, when you went like that over there, was he talking about wrapping up or is he talking about me whisking better?
He was saying whisk faster.
Whisking
Faster.
better.
He was saying
Okay,
whisk
okay,
faster. No, you're doing a fantastic job. So everything's come together. Tanda, we
Yes.
put our little bits of
Mince,
bread pieces
yes,
in there
bread
with the
pieces.
mince as well.
Yeah. Mince as well. And then once that custard is nice and smooth, then we're going to pour that over here.
Oh, it's absolutely
go
beautiful.
faster.
It's smelling amazing. And this is how you do it, a collaboration in the kitchen. And here is another collaboration you can get on board. You stand a chance to win a Hewlett's hamper valued at 1,500 Rand by simply heading over to the Expresso social media pages and then answer this easy question. What dish celebrates your heritage? We've been thinking about it all morning. Don't forget to include that hashtag made with kindness. And of course, enjoy more heritage recipes from Hewlett's by signing up to their newsletter as well. And you can download their heritage recipe book, check out their website, and that's at hewlettssugar.co.za for all the information. Look at that. That was the wrist tilt.
Yeah.
Of a
You're giving me
professional chef.
carpal tunnel syndrome, bro.
You've done it.
There we go.
Look what we've created. Hey, this is our little baby, a Bertie. You can find this recipe on expressoshow.com. Well done.
Is the law.
Hello.
Looking for fantastic health and weight loss benefits without a lifestyle change or being on a diet? Well, Shapeline 50 billion from Proven Probiotics is the first ever probiotic to offer scientifically proven weight loss, while at the same time boosting immune and digestive health. That's why we think Shapeline 50 billion may well be the world's most effective probiotic. Available at Dis-Chem and Clicks.
to your feel-good breakfast show. This is Expresso on S3. Now, Dr. Riyad Musa, he continues to break the barriers between Western perceptions of Muslim people as well as religious practices. Now, his comedy aims to not only educate, but to also make people aware of their prejudice with titles ranging from Allah Made Me Funny to Make Laughs Not War. Now, in celebration of Heritage Day, his Saturday, in fact, this Saturday, we are back with Dr. Riyad Musa on the couch to chat more about the importance of Heritage Day for him.
Yeah, man. Look, loving the conversation. Love what you do in the kitchen as well. But maybe somewhat of a serious note, and in terms of the underlying tone that you constantly have. I mean, I realized a long time ago that you're not just a comedian. You actually have this very smart way of educating people. Looking at this full material, you're dealing with some of the stereotypes and some of the falsifications with Islamic tradition, with the Islamic faith. For me, it's something that I think is a way to almost overcome certain barriers. Why is this important to you? Why are you bringing this into a space which doesn't generally accept this kind of thing? You know what I mean?
I don't think it was a conscious intention. It sort of organically developed. Or there was an incident early on which actually was the impetus of me doing comedy, for me to do comedy. I think many years ago, I was still doing medicine, and it was around the time that Pagad blew up Planet Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That was long ago.
That was long ago.
Pipe bomb, I remember that, yeah.
And it was also around the time where the idea that Muslims are terrorists started becoming part of the general discussion and the general narrative. And also the fact that Muslims don't have a sense of humor. And that was like completely foreign to me, especially coming from the Cape, where Muslims do. It's very common, right? So I actually utilized that to do stand-up comedy. At that time, I was still doing magic because I used to go to the College of Magic in Lansdowne with Stuart Taylor and Conrad Koch. We were there when we were teenagers, like used to go there on Saturdays. Okay. And my magic always took a comedic turn, but I never knew about stand-up comedy. And then somewhere while I was studying medicine, I got exposed to stand-up comedy, and and I actually utilized that, the whole Planet Hollywood thing, the bombing, and I wrote a set around that. So that was like my first stand-up set. It was around this very harsh topic, right? And hopefully through laughter, I was able to have people connect, with Muslim, framing this other narrative. Okay. And but it wasn't intentional. Just I thought, okay, now how do I do this? It's kind of just happened. And I think through the story of material, I was just trying to be as authentic and real as possible and dramatize my experience, the challenges of being a comedian within the Islamic faith, having to perform in bars, where alcohol served, things of that nature, and also making people laugh, because essentially it's our humanity that connects us, and then it can, if you can laugh with people, can cry with people, you start to understand that we're not that different. So I think it was not conscious. It just kind of manifested.
Now, with comedians, there's always that line where some of them are on it, some of them cross it, some of them never get to that line, but it creates a little bit of controversy for the audience. How do you handle that?
Well, the line, I'm a person who doesn't run over the line, but I go,
your toes there.
What? That's what I do, and I think it's part of being the first sort of Muslim comedian in this, well, not the first, but I mean, of this era, post-94. The guys that came after me are a little bit sometimes more adventurous in a sense, or more free to say what they want to say, whereas I feel like I have to be more sensitive, even in terms of utilizing swearing and profanity, which I do at times, but I don't have a, because a lot of people come to me, yeah, Riyad, we love your comedy because you don't feel need to swear and all of that, and like, I don't have actually an issue, even though I don't swear, I don't have an issue. I love, like, the dirtiest comedians are, like, my favorite, Chris Rock is like, I love Chris Rock. When Will Smith did that to Chris Rock, I was so upset. And I love Will Smith too.
Yeah.
Right? But I realized that Chris Rock is like the guy. But anyways, I'm gonna be, okay, don't send me down that path now. Okay. Right, and I actually forgot now. I've got so much rage for Will Smith.
But it's interesting you mentioned the profanity, because I'm busy reading Will Smith's book, and when he started off with rapping, he had all these like profanity in his lyrics, and his grandma came across it, and she's like, "No, Will, you use your words. You don't need to use all those bad words." And it was just very sweet.
So there's a difficult thing with Will Smith. It's like he has all these philosophies and like very, very profound bits of advice, right? That I identified with his book so much. Like almost everything about his book, every experience, I identified it being in that world, how he negotiated the world of fame, just at a much lower level. Yeah. Like I understand everything
you are Will Smith. Don't put yourself down there, man. You are Will Smith.
So it was like very, it's very, when he did that, he came across as less authentic than I thought he was. And that was very sad.
Oh, well, we can talk all things comedy, all things philosophies with Riyad Musa. He's with us in studio, but of course, his show is taking place, Riyad Musa's live tour. He will be touring South Africa from the 23rd of September until the 10th of December. Tickets are between 150 and 200 Rand on ticketpro.co.za, or you can find it at riyadmusa.co.za. Let's support him. Let's keep this comedy going, because I think we all can do with a bit of a laugh.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Hoping that Riyad's going to stick around all morning. We're going to bake him some amazing treats today. Another Heritage Day celebration on the way with this recipe. In fact, this one was invented by South Africans, the humble bunny chow. It is undoubtedly a heritage dish. And today's Golden Cloud High Tea inspiration is the mini bunny chow. These are awesome. But before we get to the richly flavored spicy curry, we're going to be learning how to make the perfect mini bread loaves needed for our perfect bunny chow, obviously. And this is really easy. And here to give us a Golden Cloud masterclass on bread making is Chef Thando, and Riyad once again is going to join us. We're going to level up now, my friend. Now you're going to play with the gluten.
We started at beginner, now we're at intermediate, and then hopefully
by the end of this I'll be a master.
Yeah, she did say master class.
Yeah.
So obviously we are using fairly I think forgiving ingredients here, which does help. What I love about Golden Cloud, they've walked this journey, because I'm a good cook, I say that. Okay.
No, but you need to hype yourself up.
But I can't bake for anything. Okay, I just can't do it because it requires the science. Yeah, exactly. And so I enjoy baking with my kid because we have a bonding experience, but there's very little to eat afterwards. Which is generally a problem. But what I love about the Golden Cloud mix is, we're using the bread pre-mix, which you can use for like dombolo, for your fit cook, things like that. So easy. You just add 3 ingredients and it's done. It does itself. Okay, so Tana, you're making the fun parts. So
I've got the curry
going on here.
Yes, so I've got some onions. I've got some onion, garlic, cinnamon stick, curry leaf, and then we're going to add our spices. So we've got some coriander.
Danya,
cumin.
You're going to start. Are you determined
What's cumin?
to polarize our viewership?
Jira. Bori.
There we go.
No, that's Cape Town. Bori is Cape Town.
You're going to end marriages today. Stop it, man. Stop it.
Then we also got some
sisters aren't going to talk to each other for years because of this. Just please, we don't polarize.
Perfect. And then we're going to just fry everything off. I'm going to get you started on our mixture, on our...
I'm going to have to more
our bunny chow mixture. So you're going to open the packet up there for us. I'm just going to turn the heat up.
And remember, for the value of TV, hey, your spectacular fail is as entertaining as success. So we really don't mind. You can do it however you want.
All of it?
Yes.
All of it. Go for it, buddy. Don't hold back.
Don't be shy.
You're quite...
There we go. And one thing I love...
in the kitchen. I feel like you've had some bad experiences. Something has happened in the kitchen. There we go.
Okay. And
See,
then
I'm chaotic.
That's the gay
how.
abandon that I'm
No,
looking
it's
for.
just I'm inspired by, and it just, you know.
And then with that same
whatever I
inspiration and
feel.
energy, we're going to pour our yeast in.
Yeast, is
Yes.
this right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, and now I'm going to tell you right now, with yeast, it's a living thing, eh? So
Yes,
you've got to
Yes.
love it, and you've
Fungus.
got to nurture it. So is there anything you'd like to say to the yeast?
Yeah. Some loving words, words of affirmation.
Yes, I love you. Your cousin causes itchiness between my toes.
Okay.
Bow,
Cool.
bow,
Perfect.
bow.
Words of love.
Yeah.
Then,
They're
warm
part
water.
of the family,
Warm
man. I
water,
love it.
okay.
And we need to look after our yeast, which means it needs to be within its expiry date. So please,
Yes,
just
please.
make sure that your yeast is in the zone. And then I've also heard you don't introduce salt directly to
No,
yeast because it kills it. Yeah.
Yes, salt right on top of yeast will kill the activation chemicals, the enzymes in the yeast. It just destroys basically the yeast. So
yeah,
you never want to put salt directly on. Always just put it around, and then you're just going to grab our spatula and mix that through. With more inspiration, with, you know? Yeah. There we go.
Double toil and trouble. Just very quickly, Thando, because I think there's going to be a lot of elbow grease involved here, but what is key with bread?
With
we hear
bread.
the word gluten all the time. Why is it so important for us to build the gluten?
So that structure of the bread, you want to get like a beautiful structure, bread structure, not like a cookie crumb structure.
more
So
water.
kneading it helps develop that beautiful structure that you usually find in bread.
You're winning. So Riyad's just asked, do we need to put more water?
A bit more water. Let me grab some.
Just a little bit
Yo.
drop. And that's a good way to start, is start drier, work your way up. You can't
Yes.
work backwards unless you've got like 5 packets of flour, but you're on your way,
There we
my
go.
friend.
Okay.
And then
You will
once
be
that's
baking
done,
the bread.
we're going to have the bread that you have that side on Graham's side, the dough.
And you're going to start
Lovely.
working this guy. I'm going to give
Now,
it
what am I
Yes.
doing with this? Is this what should it?
Yes, that's what it
That's
looks
what
like.
it's going to turn into.
Into,
How long do
okay.
we need to rest our dough for?
So must I leave
For
that?
about, yeah, you can leave that
Okay.
for about 20 to 30 minutes
Can
just
we
till it's
save
doubled
that?
inside. Yes, we can save it for you.
For
and
the
then-
masses, my friend.
Yes, then we're just going to roll it out on the surface.
This take us
So
right?
take that little friend out and start bonding. And of course, Golden Cloud do make it so
then
much
roll it in.
easier. They've got an exciting
ball.
competition
Yes.
as well with
There
a
we go.
weekly celebration of a spring high tea where 5 lucky viewers stand a chance of winning, get this, 10,000 Rand from Golden Cloud. And, I know, 10 grand, dude, come on. And a Kenwood appliance so that you can bake with the best, like Thando and Riyad. So simply create your bake using Golden Cloud products and then share a photo of that bake on the competition post on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages. And you can also use our WhatsApp line. This particular WhatsApp line is 063-814-2300. And tell us what makes your high tea creation the absolute best. Make sure your picture includes a Golden Cloud product. And don't forget that all-important hashtag high tea with Golden Cloud. This competition closes on the 28th of September, so get on it. You can find all of the entry details and terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. I saw some flair there, my
Not bad,
friend.
eh?
Listen,
Hey, we've
you really
and then once it's in, out of the rolls,
once it's
in
done,
the oven.
yes, in the oven, bake it for about 20 minutes till nice and golden brown. Then you're going to cut it up into half, put the curry inside, and we have mini bunny chows.
And it's amazing.
Wow.
What a way to celebrate your heritage while Riyad uses his doctor brain to figure
must I
out
do
how to
it?
cut that bread. We will see you in a moment. Don't forget, get that recipe, expressoshow.com. Let's go for it.
I don't think I can.
Only you can make my day.
Get planning for a much-needed Johannesburg urban lifestyle family getaway. Rediscover cafes, restaurants, bars, galleries, and museums to enhance your stay with our kids. Stay and eat for free or 50% off on second-room family offers. Marriott's portfolio presents a full and diverse range of outstanding hotels in Johannesburg, each uniquely designed with its own personality. Book now, enea.marriott.com.
We are business owners working with business owners. Cashflow Capital, business funding that works for you.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Hey, welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show. It's not often we all get to sit here and just chill together. There's always someone in the kitchen, someone in the lounge, someone in the dining room.
Stop the hustle, man.
Well, listen, we all work very hard for our money and we deserve nice things. But what happens when these nice things catch us off guard with a big price tag? Now, time to find out in another round of Would You Rather. Okay, so I'll set the scene for you.
All right.
You have gone on a much-needed clothing shopping spree, but you get to the till and the total is way higher than you thought. Would you rather A, embarrassment aside, leave a few items behind, or B, whatever, I need these clothes, I'll make it work?
Who needs to eat, man?
Who needs to eat when you look good, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. You live on love and positive vibes. It's a tough one. Yeah, look, I think at some point as a parent, I probably became that kind of guy where you make try to make the safer choice. So I'd probably leave a few items behind and just kind of rein myself in, I think.
Yeah, I found myself, like, in the past, I would actually just take the items and then return them later. You know what I mean? Like, save myself the embarrassment. But now I'm like, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. I see it so often in the shop these days when, especially I'm someone that is a bargain hunter. So when I see something and then it checks out and the price is even different, I'm like, hey, hang on a second, this is not, and on principle, I'm like, I'm not taking this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think of late I've become more financially astute, maybe perhaps. Yeah, discerning, and I'm like, nah, I don't need this action. I'll put it back right in front of everyone. Almost like make a statement, you know? I'm proud of that.
So I'm that conscious shopper where, especially if it's clothing shopping and you go a little bit overboard, I actually have my calculator and I go and I just tally up so I mentally know what to expect.
Oh, before you even get to the till?
Before I get to the
that's
till.
smart, yeah.
And if there's something that doesn't have a price, I first ask them, please can I just check the price on this, and then I'll make that call whether I'm going to take it or not. But I have been blindsided before. I have been blindsided where someone sells you a facial product after you've gone for a treatment and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'll take that. And they're like, it's 2,100. And I'm like,
what?
I did not budget on that.
Exfoliating touch on your forehead.
What did you do in that instant, though?
I was so embarrassed.
Take it back. Touch mate.
I was embarrassed, but I had to take it.
Yeah, hectic.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you do deserve it, so come on. You work so
Not
hard
for that
your
price.
money,
You can find
girl.
it cheaper
Come on.
somewhere else.
Oh, let's see what the people had to say. Let's get some real financial wisdom.
Let's get our family member in, and Gary will come, as always, coming through with the good says, probably leave a few items behind. Nice. Clothing isn't a necessity unless you are an astronaut. I like that. Okay, very, very nice. Very, very true. We've got another one from Mishka Abrams, also a regular, says, definitely A, leave a few items behind. There might be better or more fashionable clothing next time. Yeah, that is true. There's so many options available, right?
Yeah, and look for the deals. There's always a great deal. And have a plan, I think, when you go out there. Let's get into a few more of these comments.
Jeanette Russ comes through and says, I would feel too embarrassed leaving something behind. So I will devise a plan to make it work. Okay. Jeanette, listen, for the record, you don't have to be embarrassed. I think in this day and age, you should be proud of being conscious about your money. I think that's the most important thing about this, right? Nothing to be embarrassed about.
Well, listen, by making better money choices throughout the month, maybe you can afford that extra pair of jeans. So always budget and stick to the plan.
And then, of course, better net. Next time that you go shopping, use your Nedbank American Express card to pay, and you can earn even more cash back. Nice. I absolutely double points on Amex at the moment. One easy way to keep some extra cash in your pocket, then you can go and reward yourself. I like to do that. I set like a target with my points, and when I get to that, then I'll go and fill up the car or do something like a normal garage purchase.
That's how you do it, man.
When you do it for free, it's even
do it for free, listen to G.
James is on a long overdue holiday, all because he chose to invest in an electronic Optimum Plus account. Yes, seriously. Be like James. Open a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account and get an effective interest rate of up to 12.4%.
Oh, well, of course, with it being Heritage Month, we are here to celebrate, and we've got a special lady in the building. See you just now. Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. It's another edition of the Culinary Hot Lab League. Ting, ting, ting! Yes, I love it. A favorite part of the show. It's Heritage Month, and we have a very special addition to the Culinary Hotline this morning. We've got 3 special guests that are going to be joining us, and they're going to be sharing some of their very, very special heritage recipes with us. Now, joining in on the discussion this morning, first up, we want you to come through with the voice notes and use our WhatsApp line. That's 063-408-8863. And our first question for the day, like many African dishes, the Expresso staple foods include fresh maize, dried, crushed, coarse grains, wild edible greens, various breads and meat. The authentic experience when it comes to food, and I absolutely love it. Now, we have our first guest in the building, cookbook author and compiler of the Rainbow Nation Cookery Guidebook. It's Pumla Brooke Tomai in the building. She shares a recipe. It's much loved by not only the isiXhosa culture, but all of us here in South Africa. Pumla, it's so good to have you in the kitchen. How are you doing?
My favorite, men.
Yes,
Politically correct. My favorite, men. Very well done.
Well played. Pumla, you are radiating with your colors, and I think it matches your personality perfectly, and everything about your culture I think we absolutely love and are inviting to the kitchen because we are here for it. What do you got for us today, though? What are you preparing? What can we look forward to?
So, not a lot of people might know, this is actually the former late Nelson Mandela's favorite food as well.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're stepping it up. This is like...
Always.
Oh, wow. Okay, I love this.
So we've got samp and beans, very clean flavors. We're not overpowering the food, you know, with a lot of spices and stuff that you can build. So we're taking people back to where we come from because we're so proud of our past.
I love that. Back to our roots.
So yes, our roots.
Yes.
So we don't want people to forget how the dishes started.
I love that. And if it's fit for someone like Nelson Mandela, our king, then come on, it's fit for everybody in Mzansi. So take us to this beautiful recipe. I love the authenticness. I love the rawness about it. How are we doing this?
I was having a conversation with my Uber driver this morning.
Okay.
So I asked him about this dish.
Yeah.
You know, so he's from Zimbabwe. So he said he likes it, he loves it, but he doesn't know how to cook it. So I told him, okay, you're going to have to go to the Expresso website. No, go to the website because he's on the road right now. So he couldn't. There's a ratio to these things.
Okay.
So the ratio is 1 to 1. How easy is that?
1 part samp to 1 part beans.
1 part samp to 1 part beans. You mix the two.
I can see that these beans and the samp have soaked.
Yes, so what I've done is, it's easy, you know, to prep ahead. So you can just mix the two, rinse it off, of course, soak it.
How long do we soak?
Soak it overnight.
So you have to like intentionally know, tomorrow we're doing samp and beans, because you can't wake up in the morning and be like...
You can, however, it's going to take you long to cook.
Okay, so while you're busy mixing it together, what if I decide in the next 2 hours I want samp and beans? Can I have it?
Yes, you can. It cooks about 2 hours.
Okay, so that's actually spot on.
Yes,
Nice, like that. Okay. One thing I also love about this is that it's a healthy food, right? I mean, we're talking about beans, we're talking about natural ingredients. This is like the food of warriors as well. I mean, you can take it back to the culture.
It fills you up.
It fills you up.
Yeah, it's got a roughage.
Fiber, it's got some good carbs, so it's going to sustain you throughout the day.
Yes.
So, I mean, even kids can capitalize on this. And I mean,
of course,
a little bit goes such a long way when it comes to something.
And it's very versatile as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can make it, for example, you know, as you can make it more drier, then it's more heavier, more filling. But maybe for kids, you can make it, you can feather the cooking time, maybe 2-3 hours. Okay. Make it very soft, add veggies, make it into a soup.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
You could make,
like that.
Wait until you see what we're going to make tomorrow. I'm not telling, I'm not going to tell you.
The tease.
With Sam. Okay, so,
all right.
So just remember, the soaking water, if you did soak it overnight, discard it.
All right, put it in the garden.
For example, that's a great one. And then give it another rinse. Make sure the rinsing time, you rinse it until it runs clear. You don't see any cloudiness. Then you know you're done.
So, samp and beans in. Water goes in next?
Yes, water goes in. So, for example, to your 1 cup, let's say you did 1 cup of samp, 1 cup of beans, you'll do like about 1 liter of water.
Okay. Yeah. And then the next ingredient is a stock cube and white pepper.
Cube, that's your flavoring, a bit of stock and salt and white pepper. We're taking it to white pepper.
We're going to talk more about white pepper in a bit. But then it goes for 2 hours and it looks like this.
Then it's going to look like that.
Pumla, thank you so much for sharing your tradition, sharing your culture, and sharing your love with us here in the kitchen. kitchen. I can feel it, and I know it's always being felt in your meals, and I'm so appreciative of it. Of course, the cookbook is out, so everybody needs to get on that. And if you want to find the recipe, then head over to expressoshow.com. And you want to dive into any more of this culture, then of course, don't forget, the Rainbow Nation Cookery Guide is here to serve you. If you've got any questions for later on, then come through on our WhatsApp line, because we are here to serve. Well done, Eddie.
Thank you.
This week on Tropica Island of Treasure All-Stars, our celebs get to pick their partners, but with a twist that's never been seen on the show before.
Oh, no way. But you've messed up my game.
New long life charm advantages turn the game on its head, and in their newly formed duos, they fight to stay out of elimination. Who will be the first to go?
Saturday at 6:30, repeat Monday night at 9 on S3.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. It's top of the hour. Let's get into those headlines. Here's Raul.
Thank you so much. So, of course, national duties are up first, and, of course, national news is on the headlines first up. Now, Eskom says stage 5 load shedding could possibly be reduced by 1 phase tomorrow. I know every South African out there is going to welcome this. And the power supply said 4 power generation units were recently disconnected from the grid for urgent repairs. Now, 7 units have since been reconnected, and Eskom says it has also replenished its emergency reserves, such as diesel, of which it has used large quantities in recent days. Now, the power supplier also apologized to the public for the ongoing load shedding. Speaking to national news, President Cyril Ramaphosa says the US and SA have set up a joint task force on trade and investment to increase business between the two countries. Now, during their meeting, Ramaphosa and President Biden discussed trade, climate, and energy matters. Now, in his letter to the nation yesterday, Ramaphosa said US business leaders are keen to invest in SA, explaining that building relationships with other countries is critical to creating opportunities and making the country more competitive. Well, from our national headlines, we move over to international news. Now, female protesters have been at the forefront of escalating protests in Iran and have been burning headscarves after the death in custody of a woman detained for breaking hijab laws. Now, demonstrations have continued for 5 successive nights in several towns and cities, and Miss Mahsa Amini died in hospital on Friday after being in a coma for 3 days. Amini was arrested in the capital last week by Iran's morality police, accused of breaking the law requiring women to cover their hair with a hijab and their arms and legs with loose clothing. Crude oil in the next news front has been involved in theft in Nigeria. Now, this is what's to blame for throttling output and exports and is tantamount to treason that should be punished by the stiffest possible penalty. Now, the Speaker of the House of Representatives said this yesterday, and oil production fell below 1 million barrels per day in August, and figures from the regulator show. Now, Speaker Femini Jabiamila said Nigeria's crude exports were at their lowest in 2 decades, blaming it on crude theft that he described as treason against our country. Now, next up in somewhat of a lighter news headline, there will soon be 2 new pooches in Buckingham Palace. Now, as reports yesterday, the late Queen Elizabeth's beloved corgis are now being cared for by Prince Andrew and his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. Now, King Charles and his wife, Camilla, are preparing to move into Buckingham Palace along with their 2 beloved Jack Russell Terriers named Beth and Bluebell. Now, Beth was adopted from the Battersea Dogs and Cats home in February 2017. And Camilla had the following to say, and quoted, "We thought it would be nice for her to have a friend." Fortunately, some weeks later, Battersea, of which she is the royal patron, found Bluebell wandering about in the woods with no hair, covered in sores, basically virtually dead, unquote. Now, Camilla says they nursed her back to life and her hair grew again. Now, she's very sweet, but a wee bit neurotic. This is what she has to add. And the Queen Consort added that the floofers are allowed nearly everywhere at home, except on their bed. And it seems they're absolutely ready for the limelight. They were the glamorous cover stars for the July 2022 issue of Country Life, wearing pearl necklaces owned by Camilla. Fancy stuff indeed. Well, I'll leave you with the rest of the headlines. Here's the G-Man when it comes to all the latest action and the results on sport.
Thank you so much. Well, let's start with rugby news now. Springbok coach Jacques Ninaba has made only 2 changes to his starting team for Saturday's final and all-important, rugby championship test, of course, against Argentina down in Durban. Frans Steyn is going to be starting at fly half in place of the injured Damian Willemse, while Peter Steph du Toit makes a welcome return to that starting lineup at flank. That's in place of Franco Mostert, who returns to the bomb squad. Then Bongi Mbonambe also back in the fold. He returns from that knee injury to take a place on the bench alongside Kirkley Arendse, who's completed his suspension following a dangerous tackle last month. And he'll come in as a bit of a utility back there. Then on to some potentially great news on the footballing front. South Africa will be bidding to stage the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, hoping to bring the event to Africa for the first time. So, of course, South Africa was the first and so far only country on the continent to host the Men's World Cup. That was very successfully back in 2010. Almost 2 years ago, Netherlands, Belgium and Germany, they launched a joint bid for the 2027 competition, and that'll be among the South African proposal's principal rivals at this stage. Then the United States have also put their name in the hat. They've indicated a desire to bid for either the 2027 or 2031 World Cups. Then on to cricketing results from yesterday, some explosive cricket. Cameron Green smashed 61. Matthew Wade provided the latest salt to secure Australia's 4-wicket victory in their first T20 against India, and a battle royale, the clash between the world champions, Australia, and the current world number 1, India, producing some high-scoring contests. And that's ultimately the tourists clinched it with 4 balls to spare to go 1-0 up in their 3-match series. Then elsewhere, Alex Hales hit 53, and debutant Luke Wood made his mark, taking 3 for just 24, as England claimed a 6-wicket T20 win over Pakistan in their first game in the country for some 17 years. Quite a milestone. And chasing 159 to win, Hales hit 7 fours in his first England appearance since 2019, when he was dropped from the World Cup squad for off-field issues. So great to see him back on track. And speaking of on track, there's going to be a lot of tracks next year as we turn to Formula One. A record 24 race calendar has now been confirmed by Formula One's governing body for the 2023 season. The new race in Las Vegas and the return of Qatar and China makes next year the longest ever season, in fact, despite the loss of the French Grand Prix. The season begins in Bahrain on the 5th of spectacularly in Abu Dhabi on the 26th of November. Then Monaco and Belgium have also retained their places after securing new contracts. Monaco's street circuit will be open up until 2025, and then Belgium will be connected for another year at least. Now, despite the expansion, there is no place for a race in South Africa, sadly, in 2023, although Formula One is still working hard towards having Kyalami back on the calendar in 2024. Wouldn't that be a moment? But that's where we leave our sport for now. Let's see how the other traffic is looking at the moment as the roads begin to wake up.
Thank you, Graham. Well, we start off with traffic in Cape Town, Belleville. Now, there's some congestion on the R300 northbound. It's at the N1 inbound ramp, and you can expect delays. And staying in Cape Town, this time Goodwood, there's been an accident. In fact, an incident on the N7 northbound. It's before Bosmansdam, and that right lane is closed. Please approach with caution, and it will be causing some delays. Moving to KwaZulu-Natal in Durban, there's a vehicle broken down on the N3, and that's from Cliffdale to the M13 EB eastbound, and that's after the ramp at Sterkspruit Road. That lane has been closed, so please drive carefully. That's where I leave your traffic for now. Let's take another look at your weather. And we start off with some news. Hurricane Fiona is continuing to strengthen, having already claimed at least 7 lives in parts of the Caribbean. Forecasters say the Category 3 storm with wind speeds of up to 115 miles per hour could worsen to a Category 4, the second highest designation. Now, rain has been lashing Puerto Rico, where at least 4 people have lost their lives, and there is an island-wide blackout that providers warned could take days to repair. Puerto Rico's electricity grid remains fragile after the island was devastated 5 years ago by Hurricane Maria, the most powerful storm in its history. An estimated 1.3 million homes and businesses in Puerto Rico are currently without power. 2 deaths have also been reported in the Dominican Republic. The hurricane slammed into Grand Turks Island in the Turks and Caicos Island yesterday morning. Several villages were isolated as floodwaters rose, while hundreds of people were forced to leave their homes and thousands were left without power. Our thoughts and prayers are certainly with all of those in Puerto Rico. Bringing it back home, we now take another look at those gorgeous sunrise views that you share with us. Starting us off, we have Roland from Belito in KwaZulu-Natal, showing a misty view with the sun slowly sneaking through the clouds out in the distance. Then we have Maureen Turner, sharing this vibrant view from the top of her balcony, and that's with bright pinks lighting up the sky, and that's from Durbanville. Nima Bardin captured this one from Kabeja with the top of her apartment building, watching the palm trees sway and the waves roll in. What a great way to start your morning. And last but not least, one of our regulars, Emil Jones, shared this picture from Buccleuch in Johannesburg, and this is one bringing that burst of hues glazing up the skies as he starts his morning with a brisk walk. Well, please share those sunrise views with us. You can do so on our WhatsApp line. That number's on your screen right now. It's 063 408 8863. Let's get into your temperatures. Polokwane, a low of 11. A high of 19. Mbombela, 11, 16. Pretoria, 11 with a high of 20. Rainy conditions, a low of 10, a high of 19 can be expected. Mahikeng, 624. Klerksdorp, 624. Kimberley, 6 with a high of 20. Bloemfontein, your low is 2, your high 20. Rainy conditions in KZN. Richards Bay, a low of 13, a high of 17. Pietermaritzburg, 8, 14. Durban, 13 with a high of 19. Mthatha, 716, East London, 12 with a high of 19. Fionn Craddock, 5's your low, 21 your high. Kabeja, 12 with a high of 21. George, 10, 23. Cape Town, 10 with a high of 21 for today. Worcester, 9, 26. Sutherland, 5 with a high of 19. And Uppington, sunny conditions, a low of 9 and a high of 24 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now. We'll have a final update shortly after 8.
Yes. Oh, I got nervous and excited and started sweating all at the same time.
In the presence of a queen.
Oh, royalty has just stepped into the studio. I think all of us are searching for a modern representation of our South African heritage. If you could embody that in one person, it would be the icon that is Yvonne Chaka Chaka. And she is here this morning. She has got an incredible collaboration with Woolworths that allows you to take a little bit of that heritage into your own home. We cannot wait to find it.
Cannot wait for that, and it looks absolutely exceptional. Don't go anywhere. We're also going to be heading back to the kitchen. We've got a boerewors flavored sirloin. It sounds delicious.
What?
And bet your bottom dollar it is exactly that. Don't go anywhere there. Royalty is arriving. We'll see you soon.
Only you can make my day.
Plan your next Cape Town getaway home to the world-renowned Table Mountain, breathtaking mountain ranges, stunning natural wonders, thrilling landscapes, and picturesque ocean vistas. Get from 15% off when you stay 3 nights or more and recharge even longer with the Stay Longer on Us offer. This offer is valid at participating Marriott International hotels in South Africa and Africa. Book now on emea.marriott.com.
Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Play it up. Bold matte color goes on as easy as a crayon. Feels barely there. Super soft, 12 rocket poppin' shades. New Revlon Color Stay Matte Like Crayon. Wanna play?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining the conversation. Now, as we prepare to celebrate our country's rich heritage this weekend, Woolworths has launched a homeware range inspired by traditional African wear in collaboration with the Princess of Africa, Yvonne Shaka Shaka. And here to tell us a little bit more about this Love Local collab, and it looks absolutely exquisite, is Yvonne Shaka Shaka herself, as well as Karen Kusner, Head of Technology and Sourcing at Woolworths. This is a marriage made in heaven. Welcome, guys. Mama, how are you, my
I'm fine,
dear?
my son. I can say that, eh?
You can say that with absolute authority. You know, when people ask me what the best part of my job is, I've been able to walk this parallel path with the most incredible, I want to say South Africans, but human beings during this journey of the most interesting time. So thank you so much for every moment that I've been able to be on a stage with you, been able to share in this incredible journey. And thank you so much for pouring your heart into something now that we can all take home. I was talking earlier about a modern representation of South African heritage. We know our past, we know our history, but we also want to take it further. And you've been an intricate part of taking that narrative further. When you see something like this come together, and I know you are a very humble person at your heart, but you've got to be bursting with pride when you see it there. What was the motivation? Why did you get involved with something like this?
Well, you know, thank you very much for having me. You know, as a young child growing up in Soweto, you had that sideboard where you had stuff that was just put there for Sundays.
Yeah,
Or
no
when
one
the
could
priests
touch.
come. Don't touch. When the priests come. So I've always been a collector, really, you know, of cutlery and dinnerwares, and I really loved it. And it was my wish to have something that will represent me. Obviously, as an African, it was inspired by Istolo, you know, the African hat, and by the African beads. So when I sat down with my team and we started, you know, coming up with a concept, we thought, something like this has never been done. And thank you to those African women, you know, Abu Mama Zulu, Abatwali Stolo, and the Ndebele people. But this is just so unique, and I'm very happy to say it's a marriage made in heaven.
It really is. It is absolutely exquisite, classy, absolutely beautiful, but it does represent something different. Why was it so important for you? And I suppose you had this mantle thrust on you to be a custodian of our heritage because you are a part of that. Why was it so important for you to have our heritage represented in this way?
I'm a South African. I'm an African, but a proud South African. And I just thought, you know, it's Heritage Month, and it's good for me to come up with something that you can have at your home. This is something that is, I can say it myself, the quality is amazing.
That's incredible.
We've gone out to make sure that anybody out there should be able to buy something that is quality from a very quality good store and have it. So it's your everyday use that you can eat from this.
And feel like a royalty when you do it.
Yes.
Karen, I'm watching your smile grow
I'm so proud.
and your cheeks starting to swell, and I would imagine you feel like that every time you look at this.
Yeah.
In concept, these are great ideas, but when you've got to do it justice, because it's not just Yvonne's legacy here, this is such a vitally important opportunity for you as a brand to collaborate. Why was Yvonne, I'm guessing, the first and only person to do something like this with? Why was she the perfect person to represent?
You know, Woolworths is a passionate South African retailer, and Yvonne just aligns with our values around quality, integrity, in touch with people. I mean, she was at our head office yesterday, and I'm still in awe with the fact that everybody runs up to her and she will gracefully embrace them, take the time to speak to them, acknowledge them. You know, she really believes in people. She's a strong woman. She's a humanitarian. She fights for just causes, and everything aligns perfectly. And on top of all of that, she's elegant, she's graceful. The product that she's put together and presented to us, we just knew that would be the perfect fit. It's unique. It's not something you would typically find in a Woolworths store, and I think that's what makes it exciting.
It's brave.
It's
I love
brave,
that.
yes.
And of course, you've got this exquisite face to work around, which really does help. So talk me through the range. What can people get their hands on in this exquisite
So we've
range?
launched a beautiful porcelain range. As you would see, it's modern, it's ethnic, and it caters to all taste levels. I think anybody from young to old would really aspire to have this in their homes. It's made from durable porcelain that's fired at a high temperature, so it's really durable. The artworks are just unique. There's gold leaf on the server and on the sugar pot and on the creamers. And what's exciting, which we haven't quite shared with anyone yet, is that we're launching a cutlery range that's imminent, and we thought we'd give the viewers a little tease of what's about to come. It's really elegant, and it represents everything Yvonne is to South Africa. And yeah, we're really, really excited about the collaboration. The dinner set we put into a convenient box set so that the customers can buy it as a gift, easy to arrive at someone's housewarming, birthday, Christmas. It's been thought out, and her and her team have done a really amazing job in putting this together and launching it. With all the challenges that we have globally at the moment, it's been seamless.
But I'm sure well worth it. This is exquisite. We get to see a lot of collaborations on this level, on this show. Nothing quite like this. Yvonne, we absolutely adore you. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence this morning and leaving a little bit of your heart in our kitchen and kitchens across South Africa. I have a feeling this is going to become one of the most prized possessions in so many homes. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
You are my South African heritage. So, Mama, thank you so, so much. Hopefully this has inspired you to think about a modern South African heritage, the best of the old world, but something progressive, brave, and absolutely exquisite.
Oh, well, we are back in the kitchen and we promised you recipe after recipe after recipe. Now, when it comes to Woolies, you can baste it, you can marinate it, you can rub it, and you can smoke it, because Woolies makes it so easy for you to turn on an ordinary steak braai into a taste revolution this Heritage Day. And here to cook up his favorite Heritage Day steak recipe is the one and only Chef Clem. And of course, to get ready for boerewors spice sirloin on a creamy peppered mushroom samp. That is what's on the menu this morning.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit speechless. Ivan Chaka Chaka is in the studio.
I know.
I forgot everything I'm supposed to say. Like, literally, what are we doing? What are we making?
We are making a steak with some mushroom samp.
Okay, I've got it again.
You got it.
Right,
Now, first, can we talk about this contraption next to me? What is this?
If you want to overcome load shedding, that's how you do it. That's our charcoal tabletop braai from Woolies, and it's absolutely amazing. I started outside, bring it inside. We do like little, like almost like a braai fondue vibe with everything on sticks. We do burgers on there. We do everything on there. This is how we're conquering load shedding this year.
This is so fun, especially for someone that lives in an apartment.
Absolutely.
And you can't braai on the balcony.
Now you can. Okay, so we're going to use our tabletop braai. Zoe, you are braai master for this.
I'm braai master today.
Okay, it's 100% you. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You're just going to do it.
Okay.
Okay, no, actually, I'm going to tell you.
Give me some instruction.
So, when, just before we started the segment, Raul came to me and was like, are you wrapping the steak at boerewors? Because that sounds amazing. We'll do that for you, Raul. We will try that for you. But actually, essentially what we're doing is we're taking the same spices you would use and put it inside a boerewors, except we're going to make that as a rub for our steak.
Oh.
Okay, so we got our beautiful 35-day aged sirloin. This is so beautiful. You can even see a bit of that intramuscular fat, and you want that. That's what all the juice is.
Biology teachers will use when they dissect their animals too. Is that too scary? Let's focus on the yummy meat.
Let's focus on it. All right, okay, so what I've done is I took a serrated knife and I just scored some of the fat on the side. That's going to help the fat come out, and the steak's actually going to cook in a bit of its own fat.
Oh,
so,
fantastic.
For our boerewors spice mix, I'm going to go with, let's go with a coriander first, okay?
Yes.
Can you crush that for me? There you go.
Now, is this best to like mush, 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 or roll, roll, roll?
Find your technique. You're going to find out what works best for you.
Oh, so there's no right or wrong way of doing it?
No, there's no
like
right
a
or
little
wrong.
bit of everything works.
Exactly. So while you're doing that, I'm going to go in with some peppercorns. That's going to go in. And you're going to want to start with your largest, more whole elements first before adding the powders, the ground spices. You're looking good. You can decide if you want to... If you want to keep it chunky, you don't have to do it too fine.
Okay, we like chunky.
We're going for chunky.
We're going for rustic and chunky.
Allspice. Is this okay? Allspice, nutmeg.
I feel like you forgot that spice's name.
What is this again? Allspice, nutmeg. What does that smell like? What?
Cumin.
No, it's not. It is
cloves.
Hey!
Those are cloves.
It's clove. Zoe Brown for the win. I'm out. I told you, my brains. I'm done. I'm done. Go tell the people what to do next.
No. Come back.
Okay,
come back.
I'm back. Okay. So once you got that together, a little bit of garlic powder.
Ooh.
That's going to add a lot of nice flavor to it. And you can now add a little bit of oil to your steaks. That's going to act as a glue. And you can actually use a tongs just on the board. Just kind of like work it around on the board. Like I said, the oil's going to act as a glue to help that all the spices stick to it. So I've got some that's done for you. Do you want to use yours or do you want to use one that's done?
I want to use mine.
You can do like a nice little sprinkle, get that on there.
Okay, so we need
If you can do this like an hour before you actually get it onto the braai, it'd be really great. Also, very, 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 very
How
important.
much sprinkle?
Also, up to you. Up to you. When you cook steaks at home, on the grill, in the pan, on the griddle pan, outside on the braai, take your steaks out for like an hour to 2 hours before you actually put it on the braai. Okay. You want it to be as close to room temperature as possible. I leave my steaks out for like 4 hours, even longer.
Oh, wow.
Overnight is not good, okay? Just for a few hours. Get that seasoning on there, and then what I'm gonna ask you to do is...
Yes.
The one you can put down like normal, and then the other one, I'm gonna ask you if you can just hold it fat side down only. Can I
Fat
sprinkle?
side down, go. Sprinkle, sprinkle. We love sprinkles. So the one I'm going to put down, which one should I put that one fat down side first?
Yeah, that one goes down just as is. And the reason I want you to do that is because I want you to
on
see
the
the difference.
side anyway.
Anyway. Okay. I want you to just hold the fat there for a little bit while I'm doing the samp and mushrooms, just to show you the difference, what it actually looks like. In here I've got some mushrooms, and you want to get them like properly brown. You want to cook your mushrooms as if you would cook a steak. You want to get like serious color on them. These have been sliced, but I actually prefer doing mushrooms like this, just breaking them.
Okay.
instead of slicing them.
And it goes well with the rustic spices.
It does, really. Okay, so rosemary goes in. Only once it's brown, there's no salt in there, no salt. You want to cook your mushrooms without salt. You don't want to draw any of that moisture out. Garlic goes in also only once the mushrooms are brown because garlic cooks really quickly. Once that goes in, Pumla, this one's for you. I'm using canned sampling beans for this.
And it's just convenient. We are here for convenience.
It is, absolutely. So break that up, get that in your pan. As soon as you break it up, you can hit it with some salt. A little more salt. I know it's gonna need some salt. Give it a mix. Can you smell it already? It smells so good.
It's smelling really good. Now, Chef Clem, how long should I leave it?
Let's check
It's something we shouldn't be messing with, right?
Okay.
I like my steak rare.
Yeah, don't mess with it. And once it goes down onto the heat, leave it for a bit. Let it get that nice crust on there. And you can kind of see it when the fat really starts to render out. You'll know it'll be good to start turning over. Let's have a look at what your fat cap looks like on this one that's standing up. Is it happening? Not yet.
Hold on. Yes, it is happening.
Let's see.
Look at
So
that.
you can see how the fat's starting to pull a bit, and it looks like a little clearer. And you want that up, and you want that fat to come out. So you can pop that back down again.
I'll pop that back down.
And you say you like your steak like rare?
I love it rare.
Okay,
But I'm very fussy. So if I go to a steakhouse, I'll ask for it rare. But if I go to someone's house, I'll ask for medium rare because I just feel like some people won't execute the rare.
I get you. Especially if you are having a steak rare, it's very important for you to really take your steak up before you cook it. If you don't, you can end up with the steak that's really cold in the middle.
And that's not what you want.
You don't want that. It's horrible to chew on that. The flavor's not there at all. So really, you want to take it out well before 2 hours before you go to the braai.
So, of course, Heritage Day is this coming Saturday. People will be braaiing. Talk to me about specials and deals. Oh, it fell over.
Okay, so Woolies, we know the Woolies steaks are absolutely, that's where you go. We got the rump, we got the sirloin, and like I said, it's matured for 35 days. During that time, the flavor intensifies in the steak. It's when you have to be having mature steaks. So Woolies, of course, it's right here.
Yes.
Okay.
So talk me through it.
Yeah, we've done the work for you at Woolies. We even show you how to display. So we've got where we at $1.99 per kg of the thick cut rump or sirloin steak. So this recipe you can use the sirloin or the rump. I prefer using the sirloin because I like the extra bit of fat cap that's on there. But either or, it'll work beautifully. And I mean the fact that we even showed you how to style your platter for you.
Look at that.
We've done it for you. We've done it for you.
How cute.
So, okay, and obviously there's a whole lot of other selection when it comes to braai. We have everything you need for the braai, from the charcoal to the lighter to the tabletop braai to the meat
I'm
to the sides.
sold on this tabletop braai because, I mean, you don't feel any heat.
No, you can actually pick it up, which I love about it.
It's completely cold.
And it works off charcoal. All the heat's inside there, and especially like not having to refill it with gas. Just add a few lumps of charcoal every few minutes, or every 20 minutes to half an hour, and you're cooking for hours. For hours.
This sounds like so much fun. Okay, is this steak ready to be turned over?
Yes, go for it. You're the braai master.
I can't be a braai master because I'm too impatient. I'll be serving undercooked food. Okay.
Okay.
Leave that.
Leave that for a little longer. It'll take about another 5 minutes, and then you're done. The sauce is looking beautiful. Want it to reduce slightly. You end up with this. Pour that over your steak. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
So while
Pour it over your
Chef
steak.
Clem's doing that, of course, everything we've just shown you, we got from Woolies. And if you want more on the samp and mushroom, is that a risotto? No.
You know what? You just made it a thing.
You just made it a risotto, but if you want to get your hands on this recipe, it's available at woolworths.co.za. Chef Clem, you are amazing, but I believe you're not going anywhere.
Nope.
He'll be back.
spring is glory.
Oh, bless you, man. Bless you. Unless you suffer from allergies. But that has all changed with Allergex Non-Drowsy and the wonders of spring competition on Expresso this September.
So stand a chance to win a daily giveaway Monday to Friday of a 2,000 Rand take-lot voucher to spend on the best outdoor living gear.
I love that. So answer the weekly question on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages and include that all-important Allergex ND. The competition runs from the 1st till the 28th of September, and those terms and conditions do apply. Good luck and bless you, man.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Without a doubt, bringing home a new pet is one of the most memorable and I think life-changing experiences, certainly that I've gone through. But looking after your dog or your cat takes some serious hard work and, yes, commitment. And this morning, Royal Cannon's resident veterinarian, Dr. Debbie Bain, joins us again in our Pet Health series to help us all become awesome and, yes, responsible pet owners. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us once again. It's worth thinking about this before you get a pet. And often adopting pets, you kind of have to go through this process. You almost have to be validated before you can do it, which is a good thing. It should almost be the case with any pet. When we do bring a furry friend home, what should we be considering when it comes to their care?
Well, you know, I think the first thing that you need to remember before bringing your pet home is that it's a lifelong commitment. Pets should never be an impulse purchase. And it's something that there is a lot of consideration that needs to go into it. So all of our animals have 5 rights and 5 freedoms, and it's the freedom from thirst and hunger. They should have the freedom from fear, freedom from pain and injury, the freedom to express normal behavior, and freedom from discomfort. So this is actual law that our animals have these 5 freedoms. But you know, when you are considering getting an animal, the first thing you really need to think about is what pet, to start off with, is best for this family, for your situation. Yeah. 100%. So, I mean, do you have kids? Do you have other animals? Are you in an apartment? Are you on a plot? What's your situation? So, let's say, for example, and I mean, the same would be for cats as it is for dogs, but let's say you decide, no, definitely a dog person, I'm going to want to get a dog. Now, maybe your whole life you've thought, I would want to get a border collie. And great dogs, very high energy. They're working dogs. They are bred to work.
To be worked.
They have to be worked. Otherwise, they get bored, and with bored becomes behavioural issues, unfortunately. You've also got to take into account that they're long-haired. They're going to require grooming. There's other factors to consider here. So if you are in a tiny apartment, maybe a border collie is not the right answer. Yeah.
And be honest with yourself, because the repercussions of making the wrong choice potentially could be heartbreaking. And we see that all the time, hence why so many animals get abandoned, because that hasn't been thought of. One area that's a little bit grey for me, surprisingly after years of having pets, is vaccinations. How do I know what, when, how do we approach that?
Your puppies and kittens, they obviously have very immature immune systems. Puppies and kittens actually don't receive a huge amount of antibodies from their mom while they're in utero. That's just because the gestation period is exceptionally short.
So much shorter.
So a lot is dependent on the colostrum that they actually get from their mom in the first 24 hours. So that being said, they have immature immune systems, and we need to protect them as much as we can. So that's why we actually vaccinate puppies and kittens from 6 to 8 weeks of age, because it's at that point that the maternal antibodies actually start to wane and dwindle off. So we want to vaccinate them, and ultimately we don't know where they're sitting with regards to their antibodies. So we vaccinate them 3 times in order to catch them so that we can build up the strongest immune system that we can. So puppies and kittens need a set of 3 vaccinations. Your veterinarian will guide you according to the protocol. It's normally starting between 6 to 8 weeks, and it's every 3 to 4 weeks, the last one ending anything between 12 to 16 weeks. Okay. And they get their basic vaccinations in those. After 3 months, we start introducing the rabies vaccination. The rabies vaccinations is exceptionally important. We know that there's been issues, can be transferred obviously from animals to human beings. So rabies is exceptionally important. So But once they're finished with their puppy vaccinations, then they need annual vaccinations. So it's just once a year that ultimately we need to keep up with. And remember, it's very important to keep up with them because ultimately then they go to the vet, they get their annual checkups from the vet as well. But if you ever want to travel even overseas or interprovincially, you actually always need to be carrying their vaccination card and making sure that it's up to date.
And I'm glad that that's part of the process. You mentioned a yearly checkup with the doc. Is that all we need? When should we be taking our pet to the vet?
Well, you should be taking them to the vet absolutely minimum once a year for their vaccination and their annual checkup. And an annual checkup will include obviously having the discussion with how it's going. Have you noticed any changes in your pet over the last year? That type of thing with your vet. But it also includes weighing your animal. Has there been excessive weight gain? Has there been excessive weight loss in the last year that we need to be concerned about? They check their teeth to make sure that we don't have a buildup of tartar. Dentals are required sometimes annually. So it depends really on the dog. But dental health has a huge impact on the health of the animals. It can affect their hearts and their kidneys if they've got really bad teeth. So dentals are often advised if they're getting to the point of it becoming a problem. And then obviously, if your cat is elderly, it may need to have some bloods taken just to check on some certain organs and check that the functioning is correct. So ultimately, those would be the basic minimums that you would need to visit your vet with. Then you obviously have the responsibility, if your animal is not well, also to be taken into the vet. And this, unwell, the more you know your animals, the quicker you'll pick up on this. Sure. Any vomiting, diarrhea. Cats are particularly difficult because they'll often go and hide their ailments.
They're aloof,
Yes. But if they're hiding like more than usual or just showing abnormal behavior, obviously limping, swellings, anything like that is a cause to take your pet to the vet. And just a note on the importance of pet medical aid. In the event that you need it, the last thing that you want to be concerned about is how much the vet's going to cost.
Until you have to lay out 40 grand for a back operation on a Dachshund. It gets real very quickly. I think all of this says to me that you need to build a good and healthy relationship with the professional partner at your side, your vet. Debbie, thank you so much. I've got so many questions. I'm glad we've got weeks to be delving into all of these topics. So many points of interest here. But once again, thank you so much for your investment in this process and all of our pets. We love you for that. Thank you so much. I need to now ask you to do two things, guys. Number one, go home and give your pet a big squeeze right now and share that love, because that's the best part about having them in your home. And if you haven't got it marked down on your calendar already, number two, remember to take your pet to the vet for that checkup. A healthy animal is a happy animal, and that's what we want. And they bring so much joy and love to our lives. Let's reciprocate that and make sure that they're in the best shape possible.
Royal Canin, making a better world for pets through precise and tailored health through nutrition.
Well, from dealing with our pets, we're about to go deal with our allergies. See you now.
Free to be you. Live, work, play, sleep, allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy.
Well, we're continuing the conversation this morning with our favorite dermatologist in the building. Lauren Knight is here, talking about allergies and the array of complications that they can cause. And I mean, there is a vast array of them indeed. Now, this morning we're going to discuss how spring cleaning, of course it is spring is here, how it can be tackled by those who struggle with indoor allergies. And fortunately, you don't have to completely avoid spring cleaning. Instead, you can take some appropriate steps to help you reduce the risk of aggravating your allergies. So let's get into some simple ways we can battle allergies when doing our own spring cleaning. Lauren, good to have you back here, 2 in a row for the day, or for the week, sorry. How's it been?
Good. I think it just highlights the kind of importance of allergies and how many unanswered questions there really are out there.
And allergy season is rife. I mean, like, everyone in the studio, everyone I'm seeing now is just sneezing or dealing with all these certain issues. But I know spring cleaning is something that's important. I mean, it's associated with like a healthy mind and progressing into a new space, a new season. But a lot of people struggle with the issues that come with it. So maybe from you, what are some of those like top tips that we can sort of incorporate when it comes to spring cleaning?
Perfect. So if we think about the household, your common allergens in the household is your house dust mite, your mold, and also pet dander. So when you're trying to tackle your spring cleaning, you should kind of focus it around eliminating or making your household a little bit less hospitable for those nasty guys.
Yeah.
So in the spirit of spring cleaning, you're going to open up your house, air out your house. You're wanting to dry those corners where mold tends to seep in, let the light in, and then declutter. So dust mites, pet dander likes to live in cushions, throws, carpets. So eliminate the mess, take out anything that you don't need in your household.
Okay.
Transition from those kind of thicker, heavier throws, blankets, curtains to lighter ones that you can wash more regularly. And get into your kids' bedrooms, clear out all those stuffed toys, give them a good wash, air out and wash your mattresses, your pillowcases, just to make your home a little bit less of a good environment for these bugs to grow in.
So you mentioned dust mites, and I think we're all familiar with that, but you also mentioned something called pet dander, right? So are these both things that you would find in these environments, like in corners, in damp sections, in toys?
100%. And it doesn't necessarily mean your house is dirty, so don't go on an excessively cleaning spree. So pet dander is what falls off our skin. They're pet dander, dandruff that falls into our house. And then the dust mites naturally live in our environment. They're these little micro bugs that kind of are from the spider family. So they've got 8 legs. You won't see them with the naked eye, but us as humans provide the perfect host. As our skin cells shed, we provide them with nutrition. These kind of warm environments in our pillowcases, in all the crevices of our furniture is where they like to live.
That's crazy.
So it's a hospital environment for your pet's little off shed and also for your bed bug.
Yeah, I'm sure if many weren't aware, if we were to have like a microscope into our own bodies and what's around us, you'd be shocked to actually see what is going on.
Exactly.
Like an ecosystem, right?
100%. So it's an ecosystem, it's a natural environment, doesn't mean it's a necessarily dirty environment.
All right, I get that. So let's plan ahead. Let's be practical with this. How then, or what could you suggest in terms of like cleaning products that would probably reduce the aggravation of these allergies, and what are certain things to stay away from and certain things to look out for when it comes to getting and organizing cleaning products to use when we are hopefully doing our spring cleaning?
Yes, I think the important thing is if you have allergies, you're obviously wanting to clean and get rid of things, but also to realize that the cleaning products themselves might be allergenic or potential allergens to you if you've got a sensitive skin.
Okay.
So you're wanting to avoid contact with your cleaning products and also choose products that are kind of gentle products, unscented, unfragranced, not harsh or erosive products, and limit your contact with the product itself. So either using gloves while you're cleaning, products with handles so you're not specifically coming in contact with the product. And then a lot of these products or allergens are kind of surface allergens, and then as soon as you start lifting them into the air, you're going to like trigger your allergies. So then you're going to be wanting to look for masks. So it's not specifically about using a brand, it's about using products that are gentle on your skin and looking after your skin before, during, and after contact with the product. So once you finish cleaning, wash your hands with gentle cleansers and restore your skin's barrier by using a good moisturizing lotion.
Okay, so I would imagine then not only when it comes to the products, but these are essentially some tips and tools that we can use appropriately when it comes to just spring cleaning in general. I mean,
100%.
You mentioned obviously using the brush. I mean, anything like wearing a mask, is it necessary?
So it depends. If your allergies are largely air allergies, so that you kind of manifest with sinusitis, asthma, runny nose, itchy eyes after cleaning, then it would be useful to use a mask because obviously these allergens become airborne. But yeah, so gloves are a good idea, and vacuuming rather than sweeping, using a damp cloth rather than a dry cloth because that does kind of attract the dust. So those are kind of little tips to limit your exposure to the allergens.
Okay. I would imagine maybe something like Allergex. Is that something that can assist this process?
100%. So if you know you're going to react, take your Allergex before. And then obviously Allergex has got quite a short onset of action. So if you do manifest with symptoms from your cleaning, you can then take your antihistamine.
Beautiful. All right, I think we're ready to spring clean. No excuse now. Thank you so much again, Hon. Absolutely love your advice and having you on the show once again. We hope to see some more of you because that means that we are doing good things and getting educated. And for you, Mzansi, September is, of course, National Pharmacy Month. Now, self-care is a human right, and your pharmacist is your partner. Don't forget that. So support your local pharmacy. They are a pillar of your community. Now, this was brought to you by Allergex Non-Drowsy in proud association with Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, inspiring communities one pharmacy at a time. And, of course, don't forget, you also stand a chance to win a 2,000 Rand take-lot voucher daily. If you want to know how to do that, here's how. Check it out.
Spring is glory.
Oh, sorry. Oh, bless you, man. Bless you. Unless you suffer from allergies. But that has all changed with Allergex Non-Drowsy and the wonders of spring competition on Expresso this September.
So stand a chance to win a daily giveaway Monday to Friday of a 2,000 Rand take-lot voucher to spend on the best outdoor living gear.
I love that. So answer the weekly question on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages and include that all-important Allergex ND. The competition runs from the 1st till the 28th of September, and those terms and conditions do apply. Good luck and bless you, man.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your feel-good breakfast show. And of course, it's round 2 of the culinary hotline. Bling, ting, ting, ting. Of course, we talk about all things when it comes to Heritage Day, celebrating Heritage Month. We've got a beautiful book that is available, the Rainbow Nation Cookery Guide, which has got all the magic inside of it. But we are heading over to the Xitsonga tribe, located in Limpopo. I hope I pronounced that correctly, and other parts of South Africa, which are known for their farming and agricultural skills. Now, Tsonga cuisine is described as the following, and I love it. Very tasty, nutritious, and clean flavored, and I'm here for it. Now, here to tell us more is our second guest, Shiluva Charles Ngobeni, otherwise known as Chef La Bumbu. Yeah. Now listen up, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions for Chef Clem or Chef La Bumba on our food panel, please join in on the discussion and send us your voice notes to 063-408-8863. And of course, if you want to get your hands on the recipe right now, then head over to expressoshow.com. Chef La Bumbu, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you, man. I missed you.
I think I might just relocate to Cape Town.
Oh, yeah, please, because that means you're going to be feeding beautiful bellies. You're going to be spreading the love of your culture as well, and we are all here for it. I mean, look at Chef Clem. Look how excited he is.
I'm excited. Anytime I get to see ingredients that I don't cook that often, I get so excited. And you've got...
I mean, this is the most simplest thing ever.
Okra?
This is okra.
Yeah?
But
okra.
In my language, we call it gushe.
Gushe?
Yeah, a gushe.
I like that.
The most simplest thing ever.
Okay.
To be honest, I've already cooked it like twice. I'm really excited to see how we're going to take our beautiful okra and end up with this dish that looks so delicious. So good.
Look,
so
listen,
good.
I have a confession to make.
Okay.
Growing up, I never used to like veggies. So they had to like force me and stuff. I thought it wasn't nice. I mean, as young kids, you're thinking, greenies, come on.
It's like a vegetable.
I need some meat.
Okay, can I be honest with you? And we love our grandparents, we love all the aunties out there, but they have a history of like cooking the green out of things.
Yeah.
They will cook the life out of things that is like gray. And I feel that's what also got like our generation. Now, we keep things a little more crisp, a little more color. How did we end up from the beautiful okra there to where we are right here?
I mean, this is what you do. It's simple. I like to do it like this. Can you see how it is? So you just chop it nicely.
And we're trying to keep so okra's got a natural sliminess to it. Let's just call it that.
Super slimy.
We're trying to keep that in there because that adds texture to the dish, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And have you boiled this?
Yes, you must boil it first. So that's why it became like this. I mean, look, Now
I'm just like absolutely blown away. I'm like a kid trying to discover what this is. Opening it up, I mean, look how this thing looks. It's insane.
Listen, I don't even know what that
I've
is.
never
The
seen,
seeds.
Yeah, I've never seen something like this. I've just peeled open the skin.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sort of crunchy. The inside has a bit of like a slimy, wet texture to it, so it is moist. I'm assuming these are the seeds, which I would imagine carries all the power and the nutrients. At the same time, this is fascinating. It's almost like if someone took, let's say...
I'm waiting for this,
like
yes.
like, you know, like a small corn...
Okay.
Right? And then wrapped it around like a celery or something. This is like a superfood.
Yeah, it
this
looks
is
like
pretty
that.
cool.
That's right.
Fascinating
That's super
stuff.
right.
I can't wait to see how this is. Anyway, let me not distract you any further. What's the next steps here?
Yeah, so after you've chopped it right, you must put it in the pot.
No oil? Oil?
No, nothing like that.
Nothing?
Water. That's how healthy it is.
Okay.
It's got too much nutrition.
Okay.
Okra,
Too much?
Too much.
Yo, nice.
I think that's why my grandmother was busy forcing me to eat this. And I didn't want to. So after that, you just put it in the pot, right? Add a little bit of water, not too much water, right? It must just cover just a little bit, right? And then if it's like this already, make sure that you peel your tomato. Can you peel this for me?
At your service,
Yeah,
sir.
we like it peeled in the Xitsonga culture, right?
Get the tomato skins, just get them off. And I see you blanch the tomato first to help the skins come off. I like that. That's very
Check out this, by the way. Look how easy this is. I was like figuring out, how am I going to do this actually? Watch this. So simple. Just a little peel. Voila. Easy does it. Absolutely. Woo! Absolutely magic stuff. All right.
Sorry.
So that's fully peeled over there.
Yeah.
You sort it out.
And then you chop it.
That back.
Then you chop the tomato.
So I see we've got some pop over here. How else would they serve this?
Oh,
dish?
yeah, sorry, brother. Can you chop this for me?
Sure,
So-
let's swap.
All right.
Can I have some water as well?
Grab some of that.
So with
Look at us gents out here in the kitchen, man. I like this. This is how it should be, yeah.
So with the fermented pap, right? So as you can see there, you leave it, you close it in a bucket. We usually use a bucket, like a normal bucket. You mix up your water, like 250 mils of water, 250 grams of maize meal. Depends on how big your family is. Right? You leave it for 3 days, you close it up.
3 days.
3 days.
Wait, doesn't it start fermenting at that stage? People getting a bit like happy.
Yeah.
3 days.
I've noticed
Okay.
Something about some of the best foods. It takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, we were speaking about this earlier when we talked about the Xhosa culture as well. But I mean, for both aspects, time is so important in these meals. And I think that's what you're getting at the end of the day. It's that care, it's that thought, and that's compassion that goes into it. And that's what makes this like so much more special to me. And I think that's where the authenticity comes in.
Yeah,
you know, it's gone of the day. We're living in this world. It brings us back to this time of like, be patient.
Yeah.
Appreciate, be present in the moments.
True.
And these recipes almost force you to do that if you're actually paying attention. That's what I'm absolutely loving about this. One thing I'm picking up, which is, I'm here for it. I'm here for it indeed.
Me too, I love it.
Yeah.
So during the 3 hours, during the 3 days,
And on the third day,
is it gonna mature in flavor? What happens? with
Yeah.
this stage?
It's how do you? It's sour, like
It does kind of ferment.
Yeah, it's.
I love that. That's amazing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's how you eat it with the gushe. So and by the way, we call it buswa bjadini.
What's that with the pop? The way that's made.
Yeah, the fermented pap. Buswa bjadini.
If you like, after how many bowls of the fermented pap, you're gonna try and say that again? I don't know. I don't know. But I love the flavor. You're taking simple ingredients, but you're using smart techniques to like get the most out of it and flavor.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I agree with you. Food that takes time, it's where it's at.
Oh, it's essential. I'm absolutely loving this, Chef Labumba. I can't thank you enough for sharing some of your culture, educating us, and of course, not forgetting all the love. And we are here for it. Of course, for you, Mzansi, you want to find more of this recipe, you can find it on expressoshow.com. The culinary hotline. We'll be back. Don't forget you can send all your queries, all your conundrums to a WhatsApp line. That's 063 408 8863. We'd love you to serve you.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Making some magic in the kitchen. Don't worry, the culinary hotline is staying open. But right now, let's continue to inspire your culinary journey. Now, were you inspired by last night's episode of Color Your Plate with Koo Season 2? Well, if you were, you could stand a chance of winning a seat at the finale table and, get this, actually be on the judging panel yourself when you create your own colourful meal with Koo. That's you next to Ruben Riffel.
That is incredible. Now, to enter, watch the weekly challenge on the show or look out for the masterclass video on Koo's social media and cook up a nutritious meal using your Koo hero ingredients.
Look, those big baked beans are stealing the show there, I know, but you can go with any hero ingredients, and I think a good place to start is to head to Koo's social media channels, then post your photo there and the meal description and that hashtag colour your plate with Koo in the comments of the competition post. And I suppose ultimately make sure it's amazing, because we've had some incredible entrants, so you're going to have to be on top of your game. We're going to take a very quick break, more winners on the way after the break, and then of course we'll bring you up to speed with those latest news headlines.
Colour Your Plate with Koo is back on SABC2 with a flavour-filled second season that will have you eating better with Koo. Passionate foodies from across the country face off every week to create a colourful, balanced plate and impress the judging panel. Featuring award-winning chef and cookbook author Ruben Riffel and nutrition expert Arthur Ramoroka, with special appearances from more of SA's biggest stars. Colour Your Plate with Koo from Tuesday 6 September at 7 p.m. only on SABC2.
There are those who care for others, ask for nothing in return, but may need some care themselves. If you feel that someone in your community deserves some recognition for all they do, then Panado cannot wait to hear from you. Simply reply to the Afternoon Express Facebook, Instagram and Twitter pages and tell us who they are, what they do for the community and why they should receive some care with the hashtag PanadoSA and the hashtag A Dose of Care. They can stand a chance of winning a dose of care to the value of 5,000 Rand from Panado. Afternoon Express will then add another 5,000 Rand towards the charity or nominee of choice, so they too can share in some care. Don't miss the Panado hashtag A Dose of Care competition running from the 1st of August 2022 right through to the 5th of October 2022 right here on Afternoon Express. T's and C's apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. As we enter into the final hour of the show, of course, we've got the incomparable Yvonne Chaka Chaka in studio. We're going to catch up with her in just a moment, see where she's at in her incredible musical journey. Then, of course, we've got the small matter of giving away another 2,000 Rand voucher from takealot.com, courtesy of Allergex. So hopefully it could be going to you, but that's happening after the news headlines.
Thank you so much. It's just about to go on the other hour, and it's time to kick off with our official duties. And starting on national news fronts, family, friends, and members of the legal fraternity in the Western Cape have paid tribute to the late magistrate Rame van Rooyen during a memorial service at the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court. Now, the 50-year-old magistrate was found murdered in a home near Muizenberg some 2 weeks ago. Hardworking and dedicated to justice is how many described van Rooyen. Now, Chief Magistrate Johan Lutz also said said, and quoted, "She had a wonderful judicial temperament. Court work is a confrontational work by nature, and but over the 4 years, we never received any complaints against her," unquote. We'll wish her and the rest of the family nothing but the best, and of course, all our condolences. Sticking to national news fronts, Eskom says stage 5 load shedding could possibly be reduced by 1 phase tomorrow, and I know a lot of South Africans will be welcoming this. Now, the power supplier said 4 power generation units were recently disconnected from the grid for urgent repairs. Now, 7 units have since been reconnected, and Eskom says it has also replenished its emergency reserves, such as diesel, of which it has used large quantities in recent days. Now, the power supplier also apologized to the public for the ongoing load shedding. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news, and Eritrean troops have launched a full-scale offensive in Ethiopia's Tigray region. Now, a spokesperson for the Tigrayan rebel group, the TPLF, has said this, and a US envoy said America was aware of Eritrean troops crossing into Tigray and strongly condemned this action. Thus far, the respective governments have not yet commented. Now, if Eritrea's offensive against the rebels is confirmed, it will mark an escalation following the collapse of a 5-month truce signed last month. Now, next up in our news, and some shocking news nonetheless, female protesters have been at the forefront of escalating protests in Iran and have been burning headscarves after the death in custody of a woman detained for breaking hijab laws. Now, demonstrations have continued for 5 successive nights in several towns and cities, and Miss Mahsa Amini died in hospital on Friday after being in a coma for 3 days. Now, Amini was arrested in the capital last week by Iran's morality police, accused of breaking the law requiring women to cover their hair with a hijab and their arms and legs with loose clothing. Now, next up, in some more exciting news, at least for South Africans especially, and those around the world, a spellbinding performance by South African musician Mthandazo Gatya, who has garnered the attention of American superstar singer John Legend after the legend, challenged musicians to record a verse for his latest song. Now, Legend posted a video of himself on TikTok singing a verse from his latest song and cueing others to join in. Now, Gatya, a well-known amapiano artist and SAMA's nominee, added and quoted, "an African touch," as he called it, to Legend's hit Nervous, and at the same time showcased his home language. Now, the singer, who recently dropped his EP titled Journey to Infinity, has been a trending topic on social media for his rendition of Legend's Nervous. Now, Gatya, according to many fans, created the magic that Legend was looking for. Now, in a quote, he says, "Thank you all for making sure Legend sees my duet. Great news is that he loved it," and he replied, unquote. Now, Gatya tweeted, "His verse sang in his native Zulu quickly became the fans' favorite, attracting more than 1 million views." Now, others urged Legend to end the challenge because, well, clearly there was a winner. Well, on that note, I'll leave you with the rest of the news. Maybe we've got some more winners when it comes to sport, and here's the G-Man to give us the latest.
Oh, that's the plan. Well, that's the plan. Let's see who is going to be charged with that responsibility when it comes to rugby. And, of course, Springbok coach Jacques Nienaber making only 2 changes to his starting team for Saturday's final round of the Rugby Championship. And that's our test against Argentina down in Durban. France Stay notably will start at fly half. That's in the place of the injured Damian Willemse, out with a concussion, while Peter Steph du Toit makes a welcome return to that starting lineup at flanker in place of Franco Mostert, who returns to the bomb squad. Then Bongi Mbonambi makes a return from a knee injury to take a place on the bench, and that's alongside Kurtley Arendse, who's now thankfully completed his suspension following that dangerous tackle last month. And he'll certainly be needed as a utility back. And something potentially to get really excited about on the footballing front. South Africa is going to bid to stage the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup, hoping to bring the event to Africa for the very first time. Of course, South Africa was the first and so far only country on the continent to host the Men's World Cup, and very almost 2 years ago, Netherlands, Belgium and Germany, they launched a joint bid for the 2027 edition. That'll be among the South Africans' proposal's principal rivals at this stage. Then the United States have also put their hand up. They've indicated a desire to bid for either the 2027 or 31 World Cups. So we'll certainly watch that space closely, but go for it. Then an explosive day on the cricketing landscape yesterday. Let's start with Cameron Green, who smashed 61
and Matthew Wade providing the later assault to secure Australia's 4-wicket victory in their first T20 against India. Now talk about a battle royale. The clash between the world champions Australia and the current world #1 ranked India produced a high-scoring contest, which the tourists ultimately clinched with 4 balls to spare to go 1-0 up in their 3-match series. Then elsewhere, Alex Hales hit 53 and debutant Luke Wood took 3 for 24 as England claimed a 6-wicket T20 win over Pakistan. And in their first game, so quite a milestone. Chasing 159 to win, Hales hit 7 fours in his first England appearance since 2019 when he was dropped from the World Cup squad for off-field issues. So great to see him back on track. And then finally, speaking of tracks, there's going to be a few more squeezed into next year's roster. A record 24-race calendar has now been confirmed by Formula One's governing body for the 2023 season. The new race in Las Vegas and then the return of Qatar and China makes next year the longest ever season, despite the loss of the French Grand Prix. The season begins in Bahrain on the 5th of March and then ends spectacularly, no doubt, in Abu Dhabi on the 26th of November. And Monaco and Belgium have also retained their places, securing new contracts. Our street circuit in Monaco running up until 2025, then Belgium's for another year at least. Now, despite the expansion, there is no place, sadly, for a race in South Africa in 2023, despite our high hopes. But F1, they are still working towards having Kyalami back on the calendar in 2024. So if there's a petition out there, sign it. That's where we leave our sport for this Wednesday morning. Hopefully the roads aren't looking too bad. Let's get you a traffic update.
Thanks, G. Well, let's start off in Cape Town on Jakes Gerwel Drive. There's some congestion on the N2 incoming. It's at Jakes Gerwel Drive. You can expect delays. Moving to Johannesburg, Germiston, there's a vehicle that's broken down on the R24 eastbound before the Barbara Road. Now, that left lane has been closed. Please exercise caution. Then in Newlands in KwaZulu-Natal, there are roadworks on that ramp coming from Queen Nandi Drive. Please drive carefully and expect some delays. And that's where I leave your traffic for now. Let's take a final look at your weather. And we start off with some news. Climate change threatens the health and survival of urban trees, with more than half of species globally already feeling the heat. Now, a new study done by researchers at Western Sydney University in Penrith, Australia, says many trees in urban areas are already stressed because of climate change, and as it becomes warmer and drier, the number of species at potential risk will increase. They use the Global Urban Tree Inventory, a database recording more than 4,000 different trees and shrubs planted in 164 cities in 78 countries to assess the likely impact of global warming on trees planted along streets and in parks. City and street trees can improve physical and mental health, are important in social integration, and can mitigate the effects of temperature rises. The scientists are now urging authorities to better protect existing trees and for drought-resistant varieties to also be planted. We now turn our attention to our final look at those sunrise views you've been sharing with us. And for your 8 a.m. update, Jesse John from East London captured this photo. Just look at the sun blazing up the sky while the windmill gently runs with the wind. And then Gary Burns sent this fiery shot of the beams of light in the clouds while the trees gently sway from his back garden. And that was snapped in Lynbro Park. One of our regulars, Nancy Govender, filled up this beautiful view of the succulent trees as she starts her morning off with her usual walk in Umkomaas and KZN. And last up, we have this panoramic view from Shanice Vital from Pretoria West, from fluffy clouds to greenery. Absolutely effortless and beautiful. Thank you for sharing that magnificent view with us. If you have a sunrise photo or perhaps a time lapse you would love to share, please WhatsApp us on 063 408 8863. Here's a final look at your temperatures for today. If you're in Polokwane, your low is 11, your high 19. Mbombela 11 with a high of 16. Rainy conditions in Gauteng, Pretoria 11 with a high of 20. Johannesburg 10 with a high of 19. Mahikeng 624. Klerksdorp 624. If you're in Kimberley, a low of 6 and a high of 20 can be expected. Bloemfontein, 2 with a high of 20. Rainy conditions in KZN, a low of 13, a high of 17 in Richards Bay. Pietermaritzburg, 8 with a high of 14. Durban, 13, reaching a high of 19. Mthatha, 7 with a high of 16. East London, 12, reaching a high of 19. Cradock, 5, 21. Gqeberha, your low is 12, your high 21. George, 10, 23. Cape Town, 10, 21. Worcester, 9, 26. Sutherland, 5 with a high of 19. And Uppington, your low is 9, your high 24 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather for now. It is the 21st of September, the official equinox of spring. And of course, that also means loads of allergies.
Free to be you. Live, work, play, sleep, allergy-free with Allergex Non-Drowsy.
I'll kick this off, and just in case you're going to sneeze again, please. I'll keep a box of tissues handy.
Sorted, man.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorted
we've got a friend in our corner. There is no replacing the fresh spring breeze and all the beautiful things that come with this colourful season. But unfortunately, another thing that also spring heralds is allergies. But luckily, Allergex Non-Drowsy is here to help. And this week, Allergex Non-Drowsy is continuing on their path to make people very happy, giving away amazing 2,000 Rand take-a-lot vouchers every day to all our lucky viewers. And all you had to do this week was tell us about your favorite place for a spring picnic and what makes it so special.
Oh, it was so simple and so easy. And of course, this is how easy it is because we are about to announce our next lucky winner. Can I get a drum roll, please? Ladies and gentlemen, our winner of the next 2,000 Rand take-a-lot voucher is Bonga Chocolate! Yes!
We love you, Bonga!
Woo! I love it. Bonga wrote the following. She says, at home in the garden, definitely because it is my late granny's favorite place to be. Very beautiful, calm, and refreshing. Oh, this one's hitting the heart already. The smell of flowers makes it even more amazing. Hashtag AllergexND. Oh, I love this. And we've got Bonga on the line right now. Let's say good morning to you, beautiful soul. How are you doing?
I'm good, and how are you doing?
Epic.
Beautiful. All the better for connecting with you this morning. 2,000 Rand take-a-lot voucher is headed to you. How are you feeling now that you know you are our winner?
I'm so excited. I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
We love the message that you sent through about your picnic, and I think it's something that's so touching, so fitting, and I'm so grateful that you are a winner for this morning. I want to ask you, though, maybe you can give some tips from Zanzi. What are some of the picnic essentials that you think are definitely a necessity?
Pardon?
What are some of the essentials that you would have for your picnic, the one that you're going to plan in the garden?
Some wine, fruits, vegetables, cake.
Yum.
It's a party. I love it. I'm there for that. And of course, you can buy a little bit extra. You've now got a 2,000 Rand voucher to spend on Take-A-Lot. Do you know what you're going to buy?
Definitely gonna get a picnic basket.
Oh, very clever. I think you're going to be able to get yourself a pretty bougie picnic basket for that. Oh, Bonga, congratulations. We loved your nostalgic message. I'm sure during this time you think about your beautiful grandmother a lot. So we're sending you lots of love. And we are so happy that you get to keep enjoying something that was so special to her. So every time you're out there, take a deep breath, think of us, think of your beautiful family, and enjoy spring now that you are hopefully going to be allergy-free. But congratulations once again, Bonga.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. You can just see the smile on that face. You can hear. Now, enjoying spring is easier than ever with Allergex Non-Drowsy. And if you want to know how you can win a take-lot voucher of your own, courtesy of Allergex Non-Drowsy, well, it's simple. Keep watching and check this out.
Spring is glory. Oh, sorry. Oh, bless you, man. Bless you. Unless you suffer from allergies. But that has all changed with Allergex Non-Drowsy and the wonders of spring competition on Expresso this September.
So stand a chance to win a daily giveaway Monday to Friday of a 2,000 Rand take-lot voucher to spend on the best outdoor living gear.
I love that. So answer the weekly question on the Expresso Facebook or Twitter pages and include that all-important Allergex ND. The competition runs from the 1st till the 28th of September, and those terms and conditions do apply. Good luck and bless you, man.
Defeat your mucus monster. Mucofizz. Loosen mucus and phlegm for clearer airways. Brought to you by Pharmadynamics.
Your generosity can ignite a love for reading amongst our youth. Share your homegrown story. See Cadbury Story Edition packs. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You will note that my face is glowing and my smile is a little wider than it normally is because we have the opportunity to connect with one of my favorite human beings. Our next guest is a South African icon, and I'm sure she gets tired of hearing that, but certainly not tired of her role and responsibility as that. And performing artist, entrepreneur, teacher, humanitarian, she lives so many different lives. She's traveled the globe performing for the world's leaders and superstars, as well as advocating for social justice, education, and economic empowerment, specifically for women and girls. She is the voice we need right now, and she also happens to be the Princess of Africa. Let's welcome back, give a feel-good welcome to Dr. Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Yes! The intros are never long enough because you just keep doing more. Every year it feels like I have to add another page to your resume, which is wonderful. I often worry, though, that you have this, and I called it the mantle of responsibility earlier. Do you feel that you have this responsibility because you sit in this privileged position? Obviously, everyone knows and trusts you, yes, but no one's ever given you the choice. You've just been thrust into this platform. Do you still feel now, where we are in this crazy time, do you feel that responsibility that you've got to keep doing what you do every day?
Well, thank you once again, Graham. I think the responsibility is needed more now. With all the atrocities that are happening, with the gender-based violence, with intolerance of the LGBTQI community, it's like we are regressing. Instead of going forward, appreciating one another, working with people, I mean, you know, these communities get killed. And who gives us the right to do that? So for me, it's about inclusivity. It's about human rights. It's about tolerating one another. And I mean, South Africa is the only country where grannies get raped, where 2-year-olds get raped and killed. So there's a lot of schooling that needs to be done.
Something is broken.
Yeah, we are a broken society, and I really don't know who to blame. But I think we need to go back to the drawing board and go back to Ubuntu Betu. Yeah.
And maybe there is an opportunity to do it now like we've never had. The world is more connected than we've ever been. Not to use the cliche of COVID, but I'm starting to see as the dust settles, a human connection now. It seems to be so much more important to us to be connected in this way. And we have an opportunity in our industry to be able to do this. How do you feel right now? Are you positive? You've always been inspirational and you always seem to have this wonderful positive energy. When you look at this polarized world that we live in right now, are you hopeful? Are you scared? Where is Yvonne's heart right now?
Oh, I really don't know what to say. I'm in cloud 9. You know, 1 minute I'm scared, 1 minute I'm hopeful. I mean, with the social media, we are so connected. We live in this global space, but you find other people who found this place or this space, which is social media, you know, to be inspirational, to be chatting, and start dissing others and start insulting others, faceless people.
Breaking people down.
And breaking people's hearts, and it becomes very, very sad. But you know what? We are all here for a purpose. And remember, God loves us all, and he does not have stepchildren. So he loves us all, and it's okay for people to feel good for themselves. You know, people who have absolutely nothing to do, they feel good when they hurt or diss others. But those who have a purpose and know what they are here for, they will always, you know, continue growing and seeing the good out of others and in others.
And even if you can just do that for one person, it's amazing, that knock-on effect. I've got to ask you this question because I think in my side of the industry, everyone's like, it's time for you to move on, a youngster must take your place. But there is a ladder that needs to be climbed, and those climbing the ladder are as important as those lifting up.
Absolutely.
What's the secret? How do you stay relevant? And I'm speaking to the artists that are in that window right now, grappling with this. How do you ensure that you have a career like yours and stay relevant and stay impactful in that space?
You know, Graham, I don't know about relevance. For me, it's who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe in. I'm grateful to people like Mary Mageba, Dolly Ratebe, Lyra, you know, I mean, what a beautiful girl, Zolani, you know, Zahara, all the young ones coming up, because we've been inspired by those who came before us, and we are being inspired by those who are here. So for me, it's not about relevancy, it's about knowing your space and knowing your lane and staying in your lane.
Authenticity.
And being authentic.
Completely.
Yeah.
You've taken what you do onto a completely different platform. When you say you're there to empower, it's not just lip service. You've got to create frameworks to empower, especially women and girls. You've created a woman-only radio station, and I feel like I have to say, whoa, man, when we say it. It's incredible. What's that journey been like, and what has been some of the most inspirational moments in that space now that you're giving that platform for young talent to take their place?
You know, today I was supposed to have been in New York at the General Assembly. It starts. But I decided I want to come to Expresso.
Of course.
You know, I know all my friends and all the people that I work with are in New York for the UNGA right now. But for me, starting Women Radio for the past 17 years, working with the UN as a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, as a NEPAD Goodwill Ambassador, I felt the need that, you know, women have to start expressing themselves, which they are. And Women Radio, you know, what is a woman? We're all men. But those of us who bring life into this world are well-organized men, therefore women.
I love that.
So you can't be talking about women's issues when you don't bring them to the table.
Representation.
Representation is something that's very, very important. So at Women Radio, we talk about LGBTQI, we talk about transgenders, we talk about women's issues, we talk about the things that are happening now. So you can't cut my hair if I'm not there. Nothing for me without me.
Completely. I'm beginning to understand as I check my privilege daily on this wonderful platform that we have. Representation is probably the most important platform at the moment. This whole time I'm looking at you, listening to your words of wisdom, and I'm thinking, what is your skincare regime? Because you just look gorgeous. Mama, I absolutely adore you. I think you know how much we care about you. I absolutely adore you, and I appreciate the fact that you dissed the whole world to come and be on the Expresso studio floor this morning. We really appreciate you, but on behalf of the women and girls who you are empowering in such a fundamental way, thank you, Mama. We love you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's wonderful to have such an icon in studio today. But we are back in the kitchen and we're going to continue with everything that is local and lekker.
There is a classic mayonnaise that brings out the traditional French in 3 levels of tanginess. The mild classic, the medium classic, the strong classic. Tangy the way you love it.
Made with love by Clover.
Now we also have that favorite side salad for a braai or even just a midweek lunch, but the variety out there can really get a little bit confusing. Now it's best to stick to the classics, the ones that the family will rave about, and we have Tando in studio to show us her classic Mzansi flavored biltong pasta salad that will have people talking. I mean, you talk biltong, pasta, I'm sold.
This is a recipe inspired by my dad. My dad loves biltong, so I was like, Daddy, this one's for you.
Do you call your dad Daddy?
Yes, Daddy. And he always asked me for meat and old brown sherry.
Ah, okay.
Well, there's no old brown sherry in here, but we've got the biltong.
We've got the biltong. So this is a recipe inspired by your dad's love for biltong.
Yes, for biltong. So it's pretty simple. Fresh veg. So I've got some red peppers in here.
And I love that we are matching today with our outfits, the orange shirts
Listen,
and
we're
the
very
orange
much like on brand.
denim are on brand.
We've got red pepper, yellow pepper. You can add, this is also a great recipe because you can add any veg that you already have in the kitchen.
And play with color. I mean, I can also imagine a little bit of green pepper in there just to bring some greenery. I'm someone that loves to eat with my eyes.
Yeah. Some coriander, but you could also add parsley and then feta as well. And then you're going to make the creamy elements.
Okay.
Clover Classic.
So we are using our Clover Classic Tangy Mayonnaise medium. So that's the number 2. How much of this would you love me to add?
I'd say about half a cup.
About half a cup. So I'm going to guesstimate.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, look at that creaminess. There we go. And of course, our Clover Classic Mayonnaise, it has a range of tangy mayonnaises that comes in 3 different levels of tanginess. There's mild, medium, and strong. We are using the medium today. And of course, you can use it for whatever your taste buds are craving. So I'm giving this a good mix.
A good mix. Then we've also got sun-dried tomatoes. And then salt and pepper. So it's lots of flavor, lots of nutrients with the creaminess and then the pieces of biltong. A perfect dish for like a braai, weekend dinner like you said.
And I'm going to a braai this weekend, so maybe I should offer making a little bit of a biltong salad inspired by Tando.
Please do, surprise the
guests.
guests.
This is salt, right? So I'm just going to do a little bit.
So I've added our biltong as well, and then we're going to add our dip in there. Oh, look at that.
And then give everything a good mix.
Gorgeous. Then I kept a few biltong pieces that I'm just going to put on the top once it's all done, just so you can see the biltong.
That's how you have to do it. Tando is coming through, serving up a beautiful, colorful salad that's going to go perfect with your Heritage Day braai, whether it's a lunch. Perhaps you just want to make this in bulk and have a couple of salads for the week.
Yes. Oh, this is great for meal prep as well.
Meal prep to the T. Well, there you have it. If you want to get your hands on this delicious recipe, you can simply visit our website, expressoshow.com, and look at that. Tando has finished it up. You've served it over there. I do feel like we might have to add some of that finishes to the top of the salad. You can serve it individually or in a big bowl.
And not share.
And not share. Well, you have to share this. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste.
Tell me how it is.
So I'm going to do this. Of course, we do not double dip in the shared bowl. And I'm going to give it a taste with a piece of biltong. Ooh. I love the tanginess that comes through with the mayo.
Yes.
The flavor is full, and I love that it's not dry.
It's yum.
This is incredible. Well, you know, Tando, we do have a very special guest with us today. Can we please welcome Yvonne Chaka Chaka into studio? Oh, Mama, it's so great to have you here. Please come have a... For Heritage Day, I think this is probably a question you've been asked, but when you do a braai, what is your go-to sides that you add?
You know, I'm not a braai person.
Okay.
You have to be very good to convince me to eat braai meat.
Okay.
So I love my mukhodu. What is mukhodu? You know what mukhodu?
Tribe.
Tribe, yeah. I love that. But I must say that, you know, there's a couple of people like James, like Lazy Makoti, I always call them kids, Mum wants food.
Yeah, and then they provide.
And then Pumbla as well, you know.
She's amazing.
Yes.
I've got a fork for you here for you to try.
You would love to
some of our biltong pasta and let me know. Yes.
Proudly South African.
Proudly South African. We've added some sun-dried tomatoes. We've played around with color, bringing in our peppers and our corn. And of course, Yvonne Chaka Chaka is tasting our salad here. Do we get the stamp of approval? It is a good one. There we have it. Well, listen, if you want to get your hands on this recipe, it is available on our website, expressoshow.com.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
Vincent was always very healthy, so it was a shock when he was diagnosed with colon cancer.
I'm a self-employed accountant, and the chemotherapy treatment made me too tired to work, at the same time as having to find extra money for unexpected costs. Then I had a stroke as well.
As a family, we would have faced years of real financial hardship if Vincent hadn't taken out illness insurance.
I wasn't expecting it to happen to me, but my insurance was a great relief.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Look at that face. Somebody's excited. I think we can all get excited. Oh, I want to find out more. Crush has been teasing us that something big is coming. And of course, I asked you guys to guess what it is and who they are unlocking. Now, we are very excited to announce that Crush is about to unlock your 100% with an exciting brand new TV show where you could realize your potential and unlock your dreams.
Yeah, man, it's so exciting, G.
It is unbelievable. So wait, that's not all. Crush have also announced that the host of the show, dun, 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 take a look at this. How many of you guessed this correctly? It is Ryan! Yes! How awesome is this, bro?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you, man.
It is so cool, dude. Before we get your insights, because I know you're probably the most pumped out of everybody, let's set the scene. Take a look at this.
I'm Riyad Musa, and I can't wait to help you unlock your 100%.
Look at it. I thought it was me for a second there with the profile, but it wasn't. It was you. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
This feels like the coolest show. I suppose because we're meeting so many people at that point of unlocking their potential, at that point of becoming, now you get to be that custodian who takes them from there to there, and no better man for it, dude, because that's kind of your calling, guy.
An absolute honor, honestly, and seeing people unlocking their potential is something that's so important to me. I think everything that has amounted to me being on the space that I am, being a lifeguard, and what that did for me in terms of empowerment was huge. I mean, remember, like, I take it back to a kid. For me, my potential came through in a moment where, like, coming from a culture petrified of the ocean,
mainstream,
petrified of just being in water, to unlocking that potential. Learning how to swim was such a big thing for me. Learning how to become a lifeguard was like a life-changing experience. And then using those skills to save someone's life, there is no greater honor. That for me was a moment that empowered me so much so that it really unlocked my potential. And it brought me to a space that, I don't know, wherever I walk, I exude this confidence, knowing that I have that ability, knowing that I unlocked my potential. And it's given me this opportunity to just do so much and live out these dreams, man. And this show for me is an opportunity to help others do exactly that, to unlock their potential, to make them realize that there is so much more within you, and there's a gift, and I want that to come to life, and this is the show for it, man.
Think about it. If you think of what you've been able to achieve with that turning of the key, think about that. Think of how many influential people you're going to influence to be able to do something amazing. But you are the perfect man for it. This is what you do every day for us. You live this energy. You really do. And when we
we talk about, you heard Yvonne talking about staying in your lane. It doesn't mean you can't try new things. It means staying authentic to who you are. And there couldn't be a better mechanism for you to have in your hands right now. I know you're going to help so many people, but of course they've got to step up as well.
That's the plan.
So what's the plan, bro?
So the plan is now with Crush, obviously being official, it is a chance to unlock your 100%. So the question is, are you maybe like a passionate foodie who would love to cook in a restaurant? Perhaps you're an aspiring singer and you dig to sing on the world stage, or maybe just a fashion enthusiast who dreams of becoming a catwalk designer, someone who wants to become a professional athlete. Anything goes. We want to hear your story, and this is how you enter. It's really simple. Buy any Crush and follow the details on the pack. Now, you share a video of why it should be you unlocking your 100%, and you can share that to your Crush WhatsApp line, and that's 082-857-8054, or upload it on our socials, tagging Clover Crush, and of course using the hashtag Crush. Plus, you stand a chance of winning your share of 500,000 rands worth of prizes. Yes, 500,000 rands worth of prizes. And it's really simple. Enter now, and Crush could be making your dreams come true on this new TV show. I mean, I'm so excited, man.
So proud. Have you noticed how both of us have edged to the very edge of our seats? I might as well sit on the table, man.
Oh, yeah.
We're so proud of you, and I think this is an opportunity of a lifetime. So if you know you've got the potential, and I really do hope you believe in yourself, let this man and his amazing team at Crush help you achieve it. It is time to unlock your Crush. Love it.
Oh, well done, Raul. We are so proud of you. Well, we're about to unlock a little bit more, and I feel like G-Man needs to come and join me here in studio at the dining room table, because we're about to unlock Red, and you can experience Red and unlock more with Vodacom Red, and there are some amazing rewards and benefits that simply cannot be missed when you switch to Vodacom Red to unlock more.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. It's about creating an ecosystem around you. So did you know that if you switch to Red, you can get your hands on the new, very enviable Samsung Z Flip 4 on a Vodacom 3 gig Red Core, more data plan for only 1,439 over 24 months. Plus, unlock a 1,000 Rand Shop Gert voucher to flex your latest outfit for spring.
Look at that. I mean, you know, there's something about spring freshening up your wardrobe that's just, you know,
needs a little hat.
We can all do that. We can all do with that. Now, and if that's not all, we also have a Red Core customer which you can get, and that includes 2-month device theft cover for your peace of mind.
Brilliant.
Priority service desk to make sure that you get the right service on the best plans. There's family data share enabling, where you can share data with 6 other Vodacom friends.
Wow.
And there's multi-data SIM Connect 2 or more of your devices on the same contract. That includes your tablet, your PC, for example, and you get 1 gig of video data per month for 3 months.
Like I said, it's an entire ecosystem. Not you, even your family are sorted. I absolutely love that. Obviously, I think for me, I'm still a people person. So as much as we are engaging with systems and you've got these great plans, I like the fact that you've got a desk dedicated that you can connect with. Someone is there for you, because all of this beautiful kind of, this package of accessories needs to somehow be carried through, and I need a person to do that. And there you get the VIP experience from start to finish. Absolutely love that.
And if you think that's where the excitement ends, well, think again, because there are also travel rewards that come part of the parcel of the Red Core plan. Now, you get up to 35% Emirates flights. You get off 35% Emirates flights, up to 10% off Fly Safari, up to 35% off Protea hotels, and up to 10% off on Intercape.
I love that. Get out and explore. The weather is beautiful. In fact, I'm going to head up and explore Sun City and go and enjoy that part of the world. Maybe head to the Pilanesberg. Absolutely love getting out there, and now is the time to do it. And if you can do it with a 35% discount, beautiful. Vodacom just keeps on delivering the goods. So make the decision now. Switch to Red and unlock more with Vodacom.
Expresso is connected by Vodacom Red. Switch to a new Vodacom Red plan to unlock more.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. And we are continuing to celebrate Heritage Month. And of course, this is another edition, the final edition of the Culinary Hotline. Now, listen to this. The word boer, of course, directly translated, means farmer's food. And although not all Afrikaans-speaking South Africans are farmers, the term is synonymous with Afrikaans cuisine that can also be described as country-style cuisine. Now, it is comfort food at best, and we've got a special gent in the building. Koos Mayberg is here to share a little about his heritage with a comforting tamati breedy recipe. I can't wait for it. And of course, if you want to get your hands on the recipe, you can go to expresso.com. But let me say good morning to the man, the legend himself. Koos, how are you doing this morning?
Good to see you, my friend.
It's such an honor to have you here, and we are doing something that is so special to me. I grew up looking forward to this meal. My mom would make it on special occasions, especially when there was meat available, and I love it so much, and I can't wait to unpack this and share this recipe, because I think every South African should try this. Hey?
We love it. We absolutely love it, especially for winter, slow cooking. It's real food, man. It really is.
Oh, yes.
Really
so please take us through how we put all this magic together. How do we do this?
We've browned the meat very quickly.
Okay.
I normally cut it up before, but I'm going to cut it up for you now.
Okay.
We just cut it up into chunks, leave some on the bone.
Yeah.
We use short rib, and half shin. Which then, once the onions and the leeks have been browned, we put it together with the onions and the leeks.
Okay.
And add our juices, add our tomatoes. I used canned tomatoes.
Like nice and easy, nice and simple. And it's a meal that can be prepared quite quickly, right? It's not like, I mean, we were looking at some of the previous meals, 3 days to prepare some of them, 2 days. I mean, this is something.
2 hours cooking, well, basically 3 hours cooking to meat is nice and soft.
Nice, and I like the fact that you're including the bone and some of the good stuff in there.
Because you've got that marrow that's inside that.
Yeah.
To come out.
You can't cook without marrow. If I walk into the butcher shop and they've got marrow bones, I buy them. They go into the deep freeze because, guys, that's what puts the flavor in your dish. It really does every time.
So bring on the flavor. Let's talk about what we chopped up the meat, right? And that's obviously going into the pan. I see Chef Clem, you're already on, saute duty over there? What are you
We've got some onions and celery in here. It's a little bit of salt just to help them sweat a bit in the pan.
Okay.
And then just back to the meat that you're using. So you said you've got shin here with us today.
Shin and
but I mean, I know that. And short rib. And I like the fact
for the fat.
Can you actually hold of the piece of short rib? Because, I mean, I like how there's nothing short about short rib. They are
massive.
Massive. But, I mean, the fact that you can swap this out for, like, lamb or mutton, a little bit of tripe even in there. The foundation of a tomato breedy sauce has lent itself to so many different dishes throughout different cultures. Yeah. And I absolutely love it. This is also a great one for a potjie, doing it in a potjie.
Oh, yes, please. Of course, I wanted to ask you, we've been asking everyone on the show this morning, obviously, with regards to Heritage Month. The question has been, you can't go without a heritage meal without having something. What is that something for you when it comes to your style of cooking and your nostalgic memories even? I don't know.
I think a really good rib done slowly over the coals is my scarp ribiki is my best.
Is that the way to your heart?
That's the way to my heart. That's the way to my heart. Guys, I want to just say something to you.
Yeah.
The book that we do, the Rainbow Nation Cookery Guide that has been put together.
Yeah.
I had the most amazing time because it was my task to prepare the meals for the photographer, Brent Abrams, who was doing all the photography.
Okay.
And I learned so much about the other cookery styles in this country, which I knew I heard of ingredients, I had to source ingredients that I've never even heard about.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of bambara nuts.
Okay.
And
I've not heard of that either.
Exactly. Get the book. It's all in there, and it's amazing, the food and the variety of food that's available
I think
in this country.
You're hitting the nail on the head there, especially when you're talking about our country, the amount of culture that we have, and what that means is the amount of flavor options that we do have. And I think it would be almost a shame to just stick to our own culture and stick to our own cooking styles when you look at all the magic that we have within our nation. And I'm so grateful to have this book, the Rainbow Nation Cookery book. I think it's something exceptional to share, like you said, all these flavors and all the magic that we have within our country, and just to be educated and learn about it too, on the money.
And if there's a secret to the way I was taught at home to cook tomato bready, is no water.
No water.
It's stock.
Stock, yeah.
Homemade stock. I use chicken stock. And if you run out of fluids, you need more fluids, red wine or more chicken stock.
Yum, yum, I love it. This is the culinary conundrum, and we've got so many questions, so many voice notes, and we haven't even got through any. So I just wanted to play one while we can. Maybe we can assist Mzansi with any questions they have. So let's see who's first up on the line. I think it's Val with a question. Let's see what she has to say.
Good morning, Expresso show. It's Val speaking. I please just want to know from Chef Clem, if possible. I am always confused. I want to just know, do I fry fish from frozen or must I defrost it? I'd really like his help. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay,
I like this question.
Nice.
I like this question.
Frying fish, eh?
Yeah, so when you're frying fish, I mean, you're normally using your firm, white, dense fish, like your hake, your snook, your angelfish, kingklip, all of those type of fish. What's nice about those fish is they don't take long to thaw. So you can leave it out on the counter, and within like half an hour even, you'll see the texture started to change. By an hour, you'd be really good to go. When you're frying fish, I'd say, yes, please do thaw your fish out. And depending if you're going to do like a flour coating on it or a beer batter type of coating on it, that's when you add a little extra salt to it to help that stickiness and that batter to stick to the fish itself. But water you don't want. Sometimes the water releases while it's cooking and it starts splattering in your pan or in the oil. You don't want that. However, if you're caught in a pickle and you only have frozen fish and you need to cook now, you can do like an oven-baked fish with like beautiful sauces, some veggies in there, and that you can kind of roast from frozen. So when it comes to frying, definitely thaw, but if you're going to pop it in the oven and bake it, roast it in a sense, frozen is okay.
Beautiful. All right. Great advice there. Thank you so much, Chef Clem and Val. Thank you so much for coming through with that question. How's my favorite meal, the tomato breedy, looking over there? Where are we at now?
We have to get the veggies in there, absolutely.
Veggies coming in. All right.
I would normally have the carrots in and then do 2 hours at least.
To soften them up,
soften them up and get the meat softened, because I don't want my potatoes to disappear into it.
Okay, so it becomes like almost like a soup broth.
It becomes a mush. Yeah. And so the potatoes I would add in after the first 2 hours so that it's finished and it's ready and it's really good.
When does your sugar go in? Because I know that's another important part of tomato breedy.
When I use tomato, I was taught you always use sugar. So I would put that in now. I would put that in now.
That exactly? You guys have any ideas? It's just
the acidity is from the tomato is just a bit too high, and the sugar just softens that, balances it out a bit.
Okay,
makes a big difference.
Another conundrum solved out here in the kitchen. Gents, it's already looking so good. If I could only just tell you the smells that I'm getting right now, it's a waft of goodness. It's a waft of homeness. It's a waft of like nostalgia that I just could not get enough of. And like I said, this is something that just reminds me of my childhood. Looks like, have we prepared something in advance there? Is there one for me to try out there?
We've already got one there for you to try. Yes.
Let me go run over to that side if you don't mind, because I can't resist this one. Oh, yes. I'm going to steal this whole bowl because it looks
yellow rice, right?
Delicious.
Has to be yellow rice.
Yellow rice in there too. And like you said,
if you look in the book, I've got real begrafenisreis. I don't know if you know real begrafenisreis.
What is that?
Yes.
In days gone by, when my ancestors were traveling in ox wagons, they got together for funerals, weddings, and nachmaal.
Okay.
And those were the special cooking days where they entertained, and they made really good yellow rice, but it's got a lot more. It's got honey in it, it's got butter in it, it's got all kinds of things. So check the book, guys. It really is there.
Let me tell you, taking me back home, I'm feeling like mother's warmth and comfort is in this too, and I'm so here for it. I'm going to steal this entire bowl for you, Mzansi. Head over to expressoshow.com for all this incredible heritage inspiration, all these recipes, and of course, you need to get your hand on this book. Educate yourself, explore the beauty of South Africans' culture when it comes to food and flavor. And oh boy, you are going to be absolutely surprised. Of course, thank you so much for joining us in the kitchen. You're an absolute legend. It was a pleasure and an honor. And Chef Clem, as always, another culinary conundrum solved. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Tropica is back with the best of the best in the All-Star Season 10 of Tropica Island of Treasure. All the stars will be competing to win big, and so can you. Simply buy a Tropica promo pack, follow the details, and enter for a chance to win your share of thousands of smooth prizes. The more you buy, the more chances you stand to win. Catch the All-Star Season of Tropica Island of Treasure on Saturdays at 6:30 on SABC3. Tropica, nothing smoother.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a magical show today. I know we kind of take the edge off and we use food to explore culture. So thank you so much, Yvonne Chaka Chaka, for being a taste tester this morning, for giving us when we make the food, that comes with a little bit of a dangerous edge sometimes. So thank you for being brave enough. But thank you for joining us as we mark Heritage Month. We're going to get into a very special performance for us. To ask you right now, because we are all looking for ways to express our heritage. And you are all about positivity. I know that. How do you think is the best way for a South African to celebrate their heritage? What should we do this month?
I think learning to respect one another, learn different cultures, and you know what I would really love? I'd love for white people to start speaking Xhosa, speaking Zulu, you know, and speaking Ndebele and all of those, because we try so hard to speak English.
Exactly.
So you guys must join the party now. You must be able to say that.
Even if it's just a little bit?
I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for being such a proud advocate for women's rights, especially, but for South Africa. We love you, we adore you, and I think we need to see you sing. So if that's all right.
I need to say, thank you, Cecily. I know somebody who loves this program. Cecily and Andre, I know you're watching, and I want to say thank you. And Gerard, we made it. We're right here. Yes.
We made it, baby. We love you as well. So up next, we're going to round off this magical show with a very special recording of a performance by Dr. Chaka Chaka that she did during lockdown. She wasn't wasting any time. And this happens to be her favorite song. It's a Chona song that is about sharing peace and love, no matter the difference of skin or hair texture. So let's all enjoy, immerse ourselves in the sounds of Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Enjoy.
Kama unotibadaniza Ewe makori ya kawanda Kara uchema Lino twa moyo wangu kuraziwa Kara uchema Lino twa moyo wangu kuraziwa Mwana warere wakafamu sangu Apo mumwe murume aribada mbuzigu Muzitari hondo Maine mwana yeah warere wakafamu sangu Mumwe murume aribada muziko Muzitari hondo Kana uchema Lino twa moyo wangu kuraziwa Kana uchema Lino twa moyo wangu kuraziwa Raka subiri Buzi rako raka fana na nira Kama hunoti badaniza Lewe makori Akawa
Tanda raka shule. Buzi rako raka fana na mirako. Ukama hunoti bananiza. Dewe makori akawate. Kana uchema. Nino tomoya wangu kuraziwa. Kana uchema. Nino tomoya wangu kuraziwa.
This spring, here's to Mother Nature and all the other mums who bring wonders into our world. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.